welcome back to another episode. Are you really going to open that right when I'm...
I thought I thought I had another beat. That's why I was opening it now before you started, so it wasn't in the middle of the episode.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Collector's Quest. I'm Tyler here with Johnny. Johnny, what's going on?
Hey, T, what is up? It is almost time for the Milwaukee Retro Gaming Show. Just conflating those. Midwestern Gaming Classic, that's the thing.
Close. Midwest Gaming Classic, but...
Midwest, well, whatever. One of these things. The thing where we're going to travel and we're going to go do that together. That's going to be fun.
We will see you all at Milwaukee. We will be hanging around everywhere probably, but maybe the best place to find us would be the Lost Joystick Network booth with the LJN Rainbow on it, which they are totally stealing that copyright or trademark.
This totally legally acquired.
It's fine, whatever. At a game show, trademark means absolutely nothing. You could just sell ROM hacks. You could sell all kinds of merch using whatever IP you want. Like, there's no such thing as copyright law.
Yeah, this perler I made is definitely officially licensed.
Yeah, one of the booths that we were nearby last year was just like 3D printed cartridges. You could just get like a big Mario 64 cartridge, because wouldn't that be a fun novelty?
No, you know what is upsetting about that is how many they sold, Tyler. They were doing well, and who are these for?
They're for people who want to put a big 3D printed N64 cartridge.
Why? I don't understand.
The thing I don't understand is if you want any kind of like big-ish 3D printer thing, it is literally almost the same price to buy your own 3D printer and just start doing it yourself. Like, okay, if it's like literally the only 3D printed thing you'll ever want, then fine. But once you have a 3D printer, you can print as many stupid N64 cartridges that you want. And then once you do that, you'll be like, oh, this doesn't really have a lot of value. Maybe I shouldn't be spending my money on buying a novelty that was literally printed out of thin air.
Also, they put like these ugly ass like rainbow foil labels on them. They're like, we can make them purple, and it's like, but what? Ugh.
Johnny, so you want to invest in my 3D printer business? We're gonna make stupid novelties for conventions.
You know, we'd probably do better with that than selling games.
I don't know. Mike did pretty good last year selling Super Famicom games.
That's true.
Not with like anything obscure. People just come up and they're like, yeah, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario World.
Well, it's the perfect system because you've been training collectors for the past several years that they should buy Japanese games, and now they believe you. And Mike is capitalizing on that.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, this has all been a market manipulation tactic to enrich Mike, because I'm not selling my stuff, but I do have to try to enrich my friends here. It's like a whole, like how all the billionaires get together and try to make policies that benefit themselves. It's like that, but with the Illuminati of video games, which I am, of course, a part of.
Are you going to get me into that or what? Because I'm always on the outside.
You're not even in like the sealed groups. Like, what are you talking about? You're so far out, Johnny.
I know, but people assume that I have this great sway, and I'm just on the outside like you guys looking in.
Yeah, I'm
One day,
also not really. You have to be in the Facebook groups. I feel like that's where it really goes down, because all the old people with money and people just congregate on Facebook for whatever reason. So since I'm not on Facebook, I am out of touch with the true video game market. Speaking of which, got some feedback last episode that I missed on a key PlayStation 4 collector community on Facebook. But I have a rebuttal to this, because almost certainly it's called like the PlayStation 4 Collectors of the World or Collectors of America, something like that. Almost certainly that group was made while the PlayStation 4 was a contemporary console. Is it a contemporary console? I don't even know what to consider the PlayStation 4.
It is. It's still Look, when they're still releasing split releases.
So, yes, you can find people collecting the stuff currently coming out, similar to how you'd find like a comic group who's talking about the books that are currently coming out. I think it's crazy to be talking about a modern console past its prime. The Wii U. If you're in a Wii U collector group, like, what are you guys talking about? And I understand that it must exist. There are people who need to talk about the Wii U. But, like, on a day-to-day basis, I don't know. It's not the most interesting console in the world to consistently talk about.
I mean, it's funny you say that because in the last week, and I was not looking for Wii U stuff, but do you know how many times I ran across people talking about the Devil's Third? This is incidental to this. I'm still puzzled, but I imagine that a Wii U group must be a lot of Devil's Third.
No one is talking about the Devil's Third.
That is untrue. I found 3 instances of it unsolicited. Like, I'm like doing other searches, and like then there's a Reddit post, and I'm like reading through, like, did anyone say anything smart in this? Nope, but someone did mention the Devil's Third. Excellent. Perfect.
Are they talking about how it's a goofy, kind of underrated game by the West that wasn't really meant to be that serious and got really bad reviews when it really wasn't treated that fairly? Or are they talking about how it's rare?
They are talking about how it's rare and how only a few were made, and now that's one of the rarest games on the Wii U. You're so lucky to have found it.
I mean, really one of the rarest games of all time. If you check eBay, there's probably only a couple dozen.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. If you like that kind of thing. I don't like super rare games like the Devil's Third, though. So
whoa, you don't like super rare games, but #Blood was just released by Super Rare Games.
The fact that that can even be said by accident is a mistake. Hey, did you buy your copy of Blood, Tyler?
No, because I don't buy limited print games, Johnny. I'm sorry. Even to support the people.
Rude.
Yeah, I know.
What is wrong with you?
I'm giving. How much free promotion are we giving him? Come on.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that this was enough. I thought we supported people we like. Never mind, Tyler.
I pay you in exposure, okay? You think I'm paying you in money? No, we're gonna give you some exposure. The intro music to this show back when we got an intro in like episode 90 or something. You think we paid for that? Are you crazy? No, we got 8-bit music. That's 8-bit music. To create that for free as long as we would shout him out. And then I stopped doing the intro a couple years later, so he doesn't get a shout out anymore. So we paid for him in that exposure, but we are continuing to profit by using his awesome music that he made for us.
Tyler, what is wrong with you?
8-bit music. That's APE, like the monkey. Bit music.
Why wouldn't you have just said, of course I bought my copy of Blood?
I'm not good at lying. I don't want to lie.
I mean, I hurt the man's feelings. Goodness.
It's PAL too, just like it doesn't really fit in my collection. Like if I played it, I'll play it on PC, let's be real. But also I don't want to give him money. Like I don't buy games on PC unless they're 75% off. Like, I mean, I'm a picky gamer here. Johnny, I have 10,000 video games, okay? You can't complain that I didn't buy one.
I can, because I'm going to point out that you bought all those other ones, and this one, for someone we know, you didn't.
Yeah, but I did. I haven't bought anything recently, so I've been financially responsible over here.
Okay, well, when you look him in the face in Milwaukee, let him know.
All right. I'll let him know.
I'm here for you.
Johnny, you know what? Speaking of the Devil's Third not being rare, you know what games are kind of rare? Turbografx games. That was a smooth transition where I only had to jump back one topic.
Not bad for us. Turbografx games are a little bit rare. I think we don't talk about them that often. So maybe we could do that today, yeah?
I think it's a little bit of a Wii U situation where it's like, all right, in a console with 100 games, like how much is there really to talk about?
I mean, we're going to talk about more than just the Turbografx 16. We're going to include the Turbo CD, Turbo Duo, and all the PC Engine stuff in between.
Whoa, that adds like 1,000 games, including 100 or maybe like 50 games of which people know about and can play in English.
Yep, and we don't have a whole lot of experience with those, so that's cool.
I mean, I think everyone's collective experience, like if you get into the PC Engine, everyone has the same collective experience of buying like the same 10 games or like downloading whatever they do, the same 10 games as everyone else, or they play PC Engine versions of the Turbografx games. It is so not a system where you can just like go buy a lot of cheap games from like Japan, because you'll just get all these discs or cartridges and it'll just be like a bunch of RPGs. You'll be like, I didn't even know there were so many RPGs I'd never heard of, but there's just like a bunch of games you can't play. But it also has some of the most beloved shooters of the 8-ish bit era. And that's a lot of fun.
It's like a weird thing about the PC Engine is how many Sega games that are actually on the PC Engine that you can go play versions of. You just don't see that really other places. Like, so I think you could have a really fun Sega PC Engine collection.
What are some examples?
Altered Beast. You ever heard of that one? One of your favorites?
Rise from your grave.
Yeah. Well, it's not a very good impersonation, but yeah, that's.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Shinobi, Golden Axe, Outrun, Raiden, Space Harrier, Afterburner 2. Yeah, like Forgotten Worlds. Like R-Type. It's just.
Okay, all right, you convinced me. All right, there are a bunch of Sega games, aren't there?
I mean, if you want to count like Ghost and Goblins, like there's a version on the Turbografx that's cool.
I think some people might say it's better than the arcade version. I don't know enough about it to say that, though.
But yeah, I mean, and I'm sure there's more. I just like had a couple examples. I just remember seeing them, like an Altered Beast is the one that always stands out. Because I'm like, where can you even play Altered Beast besides the Genesis and then the Master System? And you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's weird. And then there's like a GBA port of it. So yeah, it's like a fun little side note of the system. It's like a quirk, I would call it.
All right.
So what else are we going to do? How are we going to talk about this, Tyler?
Johnny, we're doing the 10 games we would start our Turbografx / PC Engine collection with, because I think we've already done So You Want to Collect Turbografx, so we don't need to go into all the boring history here. We could...
Okay, excellent. We can get right into...
We're just talking about making a sick-ass shelf that shows that we're true collectors, because we collect Japanese games and shooters, which are the most collectible things of 2009.
Nice. Yeah. Excellent. So the premise of these type of episodes is pretty much spot on to what Tyler said. If we were going to start it, we would put these on our shelves. Again, it might not be the best game. Hopefully it's a good game, but stuff that's like noticeable will make someone pick it up and go, oh, hey, look at this. So that's kind of the thrust of when we do these episodes. And it's like, these aren't the 10 best games on the system. That's not what we're saying. This is not the best games. And we're not even saying these are necessarily the best games to collect. We're just saying what we would start with when we're building up our collections. And Tyler and I have different ideas about how we collect. So our list will have some similarities and some differences. And the last caveat I will give about the Turbografx 16 is much like when we talked about the Sega Saturn. If you want any of like the really decent games for this, you're either going to buy Japanese copies, but if you want like the American versions, Canadian, North American, you're going to have to like spend, especially if you want them in their box. If you want them CIC, which is complete in case, that's different. But if you want them like in their true box, which I think you should, because I think that is one of the standout things of the system, then it's going to cost you some money. So just be aware of that going into this episode.
The standout thing is if you're not like a big Turbografx collector and you have like 5 Turbografx games complete in box, they're such a weird size that you're just going to, and they're thin, so you're just going to like slide them on top of your Sega Genesis games or something because they're such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
This is really brought to you by someone who I think I have 2 complete in box Turbografx 16 games. One of them is Fantasy Zone, and I don't know what the other one is. Probably Cosmic Fantasy 2.
The annoying thing about Turbografx games is that like it's not consistent either. Like if you're like trying to have turbo games, some have the case. Like even if you just wanted to go if you were just like, I don't care about the big turbo boxes, there's no way to get them all CIC either. You have to like cannibalize CD cases or the Hue card cases in which to get them or have them 3D printed. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It's one of the things that I find most annoying about this system. And even when you think it should, like a game like Keith Courage doesn't have a proper box, and then it's just like, come on, man. I bought a fake Keith Courage box so I could have all of my games have boxes.
Yeah, and so Turbografx jewel cases are non-standard, and I'm sure you could buy a cheap jewel case and cannibalize it, but people make like repro stickers for games like Keith Curves that didn't come in a thing, but you still are going to have to go get a real jewel case because you can't just put it. I mean, I guess you could put it in a regular jewel case, but the only thing it's going to fit in is a this weird Turbografx jewel case that has like a little flap that goes over the turbo chip.
Yep. A lot of people, what they're doing now, I've seen them like cannibalizing regular CD cases and then 3D printing a hue card holder in the middle of it, so then they can slide the manual and then put the hue card. But it's kind of sloppy. I don't love it.
It doesn't sound
Anyways,
great.
No, and like let's just talk about those jewel cases for a minute. If you just have those stickers are garbagey, they peel. It's just like it looks like they were all hand stuck on, so it's just.
Also, it goes. The sticker isn't solid on the back, so kids can poke holes in it because it's like going over air. It goes over like a grid in the back.
Yeah, there's
don't
not
like those stickers.
No, I dislike everything about this. And then you get the boxes, which I think are like they're an inconvenient size, which I don't like. But they do have at least a big display area. But then not all the games came like this. Some of them came with those stupid plastic trays in them. So then they feel even flimsier. I just like, man, come on. Hudson Soft, NEC, get your shit together. Don't do this to me. But there's not a bitch session about that. There's just some things to know when you are collecting these and getting them on your shelves and things you're going to have to do to make all of your stuff look nice.
So counterpoint, if you instead go over to Japan, everything looks super consistent. Like Hudson games are even numbered. They're like volume 31, volume 32. All the Super CD games have consistent pink spines. All the Hue card games have consistent blue spines. It is so much better.
It is a lot easier, but it makes them to me a little less interesting because I think what is a positive for it, and like all those negatives, is when you do have Turbografx games on the shelf, they stick out. They stick out and they look interesting and they draw the eye.
I mean, that's true just because it's like you have Turbografx. Look at Mr. Big Collector.
Yeah. But even if you don't, you're like, what is that system? Like if you just if someone walks in, they're like, oh, these are video games. They're like, well, those ones look different. They stand out.
And they start like, I think that touching your magical chase box, because that's the one you've got on display facing outward.
Yeah. Also, and I know we kind of, when we did the box episode about how we rated boxes, the Turbografx boxes were not well received by us. Not a high score.
They're way too skinny and tall. The fact that they're bigger than the jewel case inside is so dumb. They just want to be bigger. It's and you know, that's kind of the theme with the Turbografx though, because the Turbografx 16 itself is so much physically bigger than it needs to be. It feels so empty and cheap. I hate it so much.
It does feel cheap.
And the PC Engine is like the greatest designed console ever. If that thing had just like native RGB output, you wouldn't need anything else in your life. It's like the size of a jewel case. It's adorable. It only has one controller port because you're alone. You're not playing with anyone. Get out of here.
That's true. Tyler?
What's up?
The controllers are real bad. Anyways. I think we got fought on that before, but I'm going to stand by that.
The D-pad's too small for my big fat American fingers.
Squishy. Dislike. Anyways, shall we get into it? Because we got 10 games and then a couple of bonus picks, and we'll talk a little bit about each one and why we picked it. Yeah, we good?
That sounds like an episode to me.
Me too, Tyler. So let's do an episode. All right. Well, let's start with the one we both agree on right off the bat.
We agree on 4 straight games. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, just the first one, the one that makes the most sense to talk about.
Bonk's Adventure, Gianni, the mascot of the Turbografx.
That's
the
not
PC kid, you might call him. PC Genjin.
No. PC Genjin, which is a pun on PC Engine. Get it?
Whoa.
Get it? Anyways, no, we're not doing Bonk's Adventure. Bonk's Adventure sucks.
Bonk's Adventure sucks. I totally agree. I don't know why people are so nostalgic for this game. I mean, it must be because everyone who had a Turbografx had it, and only so many people had a Turbografx, so they had to bond over something.
Yeah, look, and I think Bonk is an interesting adorable character. He's a good mascot. Like he fit into the era, but I don't like. Look, Bonk's Adventure just isn't that good. But you definitely should have a Bonk game on your shelf. And if you try to get like Bonk 3, you get into some weird collector issues. So let's go with a pretty good Bonk game. Let's go with Bonk's Revenge.
I like Bonk's Revenge.
I do too. I think way better than the first Bonk. I don't understand really how people don't like. Everyone likes Bonk's Revenge more, right? Am I crazy?
I think some people act like they're the same, and I feel like it's because they haven't played them in close enough proximity to each other. Because yeah, Bonk's Revenge, I think it's way harder and way more visually interesting. It's just a way better game. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, just you got better controls. It looks better. Bonk looks better. Like just everything. I don't know.
I remember I beat Bonk's Adventure the first time I sat down to play it. And I remember having to like get frustrated at Bonk's Revenge, turn it off and come back to it. And that's like the mark of a good game for me. I'm like, yeah, I didn't just like plow through this piece of shit. I have to like get good. That's something I enjoy. It makes me more invested in what that game is. If I could just beat a game like in like the first 90 minutes I sit down to play it, it's like, all right, well, am I going to remember this in 2 weeks? Probably not.
Nope, you sure aren't. Okay.
Johnny,
tell me more.
You can get it on the PC Engine for $60.
Ooh, on the PC Engine
2. Which is weird. That's like that's not expensive, but that's like a little bit pricey for a PC Engine game, considering like there's a bunch of shooters in that range that you would think are more collectible. So I don't know what drives that demand. That must be domestic Japanese demand. Is just like, yeah, dude, we love PC Engine. This game rules.
It's weird that it is weird that it comes at that big of a price tag over in Japan. I'm mostly going to focus on American stuff when I'm talking about games that were either or. So if you want
reprints.
Bonk's Revenge, yeah. If you want Bonk's Revenge in the interesting box that will draw people to look at your shelf and not just think, oh, a bunch of more CD games, buy it in America and you can get it CIB for about $130 to $200, depending on what's going on. So look out for that.
Johnny, if there was a big lot of PC games, what do you want them to be? What's the most exciting big stack of CD jewel cases to look at?
Oh, gosh. Like, out of any system?
Yeah. Because you're saying, like, oh, just some CDs on the PC Engine. Like, is there anything that you would be like, oh, hell yeah, look, there's 200 of those?
PS1 imports, I would be really excited to see.
All right. Yeah, I'm also on PS1. I don't care if they're imports or not. I just think that PS1 games are cool.
Yeah, PS1. But PS1 imports, either Japanese or PAL. Like, PAL stands out because they got a different case. But if it was just like a generic stack, yeah, PS1. Least interesting to look at, like PC Engine, like I would look at a stack of PC Engine games for sure, especially if I knew they were PC Engine games. But PC games, just a stack of regular old computer game CDs, it's just like, that's the worst thing to
just
troll through.
Out. Like literally throw those out. Give those to Goodwill. What are you doing?
Yeah, that would be the worst. Okay. Tyler.
Hey.
Number 2. Okay, so this one, I'm going with the splash here. And you are too, but different because for me, you got to spend. And I think sometimes on your shelf, if you're like putting some games on there, you got to have like 1 or 2 showpieces in those 10. And Soldier Blade is my pick here. It's a big game. It gets pretty pricey though, especially if you want it CIB. And it's a little bit hard to find complete in box, even though the game is not that rare. It is hard to find, like fully assembled. I'm not sure why that is.
I assume it's just because it's a Turbografx game. I mean, do you think whatever, kids opened this up and threw out the box. Like, how many copies of Soldier Blade for the Turbografx 16 could have possibly sold in the 1 year it was probably on the market? So even if it isn't the rarest Turbografx game, it's just... And I always remember it being kind of kind of not super easy to find complete in box for the Turbografx.
I mean, it was also like a later release game.
Yeah.
So it is part of the Star Soldier series. So like I could have put Star Soldier here, but I think Soldier Blade is the best of those. And I think it's like, I think people put it like, because Turbografx has a pretty good shmup selection. And I think people put it in their like big three or whatever. Like, it's like, oh, there's one of the best shooters on the console. And yeah, it gets a lot of collector respect. So that's why I'm picking it.
Yeah, I tried not to pick a lot of shooters. I've only got 2 vertical shooters that I'm going to talk about. Oh, wait, no, I got 2. But yeah, Soldier Blade, I don't know. It's so hard for me to talk about 2D shooters, Johnny, but I really like this era of shooter. It's like after like some really simple games like Star Soldier is like the perfect game I would bring up as like a pretty simple 8-bit shooter, and it's right before things got super crazy with like bullet hell and it feels super different. It's kind of this in-between area, and the PC Engine games are cool because they are technically 8-bit games, but they are almost they're always so smooth and more graphically advanced than anything you'd see on like the Famicom. It's like they all look super good, especially the CD games, which Soldier Blade is not. It's a chip game.
Well, it was created specifically for Hudson's Caravan shooter tournaments. Did you know this?
I didn't know that, Johnny. I don't know a lot about the competitive shooter scene. I'm going to talk a little bit about Nexer later on, which also has a Summer Carnival 93 special release.
Ooh, that's a big deal. The Summer Carnival, Rika also from that.
Yeah. So,
Rika.
yeah, I don't want to get in trouble with the enthusiasts who actually know what's going on with Japanese shooter competition culture. So I will just say Soldier Blade is a damn fine vertical shooter from a great era of shooters. And Johnny, since I said we were going to talk about this, this is our point to talk about it because you wanted to bring up Parodius, but something that could have went in here is Star Parodier. I think it's ridiculous to put Star Parodier instead of Soldier Blade. But Star Parodier is the parody spin-off of Star Soldier, similar to how Parodius is the cute parody of Gradius. But those are completely different companies because the Soldier series is Hudson and Gradius is Konami. But they're both just like, yeah, I don't know, cute 'em ups that have like the name kind of says parody. That was just like a thing you did.
Yeah.
Why aren't we like doing that anymore?
That's not a thing. But I wish it still was. Like, even if it was just like DLC over the game that you could do this kind of stuff, I don't know. Parodius Da is one that I'll talk about later. But yeah, I wish there was more of these. And I liked it. I think I would like to own more of these. So I don't have this one. So
which was Star Parodier?
Yeah.
I mean, go get it.
I would like to own that. I have a couple of the Parodius games. But yeah, I think I would like this one.
I feel like whenever there is a parody game, like it, there's like that Far Cry game that took place in the 80s. That's not like a Far Cry game. That's kind of like a parody game.
Kinda, but not in the same vein. Like this was this is specific kind of to a genre of games, to like shmups that they do this. And you know what? I mean, I'm long known to like cute 'em ups too. So like, I mean, these games are hard, so they might as well look fun and like just make me smile because I'm never going to be good at them.
So yeah, it takes like these hard sci-fi, like almost alien inspired games, and it's like, they're cute now.
Yeah. Here, this is so much more accessible. Please enjoy how much you die.
Is Conker's Bad Fur Day a parody game?
Not really.
Because it's like the opposite. It's like they took a cute game and gave it an edge rather than taking a sci-fi game and making it cute.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. How much is this in Japan? How much is the PC Engine version? Break my heart.
$200. And you know what? I remember this was probably 6+ years ago at this point. I remember calling Soldier Blade one of the best deals in getting a cool collectible game for the Turbografx because I think it's one of the best Turbografx games. And at the time, It was $350 complete in box, and there was like so few copies available. I'm like, hey, if you want something really cool for $300, but this game's really cool, go get this. And now, Johnny, we've gone through COVID. And,
and now it's $1,000. Or more. Like $1,000 or more, Tyler. So like if you just want a CIC version, it's going to be $500. Like all day.
So you could collect Japanese games because they are way cheaper, and then say you're collecting them because you only want the original releases. But really, it'll save you $800 right here, right now.
That is a compelling argument. You can either buy Soldier Blade for your shelf, or you can buy every game on Tyler's list.
Also, you can mod your PC Engine or Turbografx to play both turbo chips and hue cards. It just like flips a couple pins, I think, between the two formats. That's the region lock that they have. I got a little toggle switch on mine.
Oh, you are so fancy. Toggle switching.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, did you know this game was also, here's my other fun fact, that they released this on the Virtual Console, but only in Japan, not in America?
That's super weird.
Asinine.
Because it's a Hudson game, and there's a ton of Hudson games that came out on the Wii Virtual Console.
So I think we should talk about that for just a second. Because if you didn't have a lot of exposure to Turbografx games or couldn't play them, was hard to, the Wii, when they partnered with them, and suddenly there was all these Turbografx 16 games that I never had really an opportunity to play, or not a good opportunity, that were suddenly available for like $10 when Turbo games were already expensive, and it just felt like a great deal. You're just like, oh, awesome. And you just, on the Wii, I was just bought a ton of Turbografx games, and that's like where I've played the bulk, I think, of my Turbografx games.
Mine too. I mean, I don't think I played the bulk on the Virtual Console, but it was my entire introduction to the Turbografx 16, which I had no idea existed as a kid. It was a name like 3DO and Neo Geo on magazine headlines, and I'm like, what the fuck is a Turbografx 16? What the fuck is a Neo Geo? Anyway, I'm gonna go look for the N64 reviews. I started out with, I guess, the Bonk games and Military Madness, as I've discussed with you. And what else did I get on? I mean, I got the Bomberman 93 was another one I definitely remember playing a lot on the Wii.
What other games? There was like Neutopia was on there, because I played the Neutopia games.
Oh, the Crush games were on there, or at least Alien Crush. Yeah. I definitely played that. Yeah.
I think Zonk, Blazing Lasers had to be on there.
See, there's a bunch of games where if I went back, like I would have been like, oh, let's go. I mean, I have no problem downloading a ROM of Legend of Hero Tanma, but if I was back in the Wii days, I might be like, oh, instead of Alien Crush, maybe I'll buy Legend of Hero Tanma, because that's a big, expensive, fancy game. There actually were a lot. And then I think it was very late in the Wii. It was actually the last game released was Rondo of Blood, and that's the first place I played Rondo of Blood as well.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That was like a big deal, too.
It was 2010, which was like 4 years after the Wii released, which is crazy because you think, like, day one they had Turbografx games, right? I remember, like, I downloaded Turbografx games. Like, the first thing I got from the Wii store. I think the first thing might have been Super Mario Brothers. But then I got a bunch of Turbografx games. I'm like, oh, what the hell are these? And then the game that naturally people who actually knew about the Turbografx would have wanted would have been Rondo of Blood, and they made them wait 4 years. I guess they were waiting for like interest to. I remember actually. I'm sorry, I keep going off on tangents, but they really rationed the Virtual Console stuff. Like they would just like give you like 2 games a week. They did not want to put everything out there. They wanted to keep you interested in what might come out. Otherwise, you'd be able to just pick and choose the games you want and never come back to the shop again. That would just be too convenient.
Yeah. Oh no, please don't hurt me with convenience.
Yeah, guys, maybe they'll buy Digital Champ Battle Boxing if we trickle it out to them. If it's their only option for the week. Do you want to go on to the next game?
Yeah, let's talk about the next game on our list. This is, I mean, probably one of the most talked about games between us for the Turbografx. Beyond Shadowgate, Tyler. We're both a fan of this game.
I cannot call myself a fan of this game. I've never played this game. I'm just
You've never played it? I thought you played it.
No.
Oh.
Not at all. So the reason it's on this list is purely the circumstances of its development and release. Like, one, yes, it's a sequel to Shadowgate, which is a game I like. It's a point-and-click adventure game. But we just had an episode talking about things like exclusives and modern consoles, and like, why would you ever make an Xbox exclusive game when it's just, there's no reason to make a game exclusive to a console rather than just like port it everywhere. But for whatever reason, the creators of Shadowgate, a Macintosh game, went, and then they ported that Macintosh game all over the place because it's an adventure game that was easy to port. They made an exclusive sequel for the Turbografx CD and then never ported it.
Never. And where did it? Only in America, too.
And only in America for a Japanese console. That is crazy. That is so weird. And that is the main reason. It's just like a true exclusive. And that's why it's on my list. But you're the one who's actually excited about, who has played it before.
I am. And as someone who went out and bought this, I've told the story, but this was, I found this game. It's the reason I went out and bought a Turbo Duo, because I love Shadowgate. And I was like, oh my God, there's a Shadowgate game on the Turbografx 16. And then I'm like, oh, it's a CD game. Then I had to figure out how to go buy a Turbo Duo. And they happened to have one at the Game Dude in Los Angeles. And my wife had done this thing where we were removing a toilet, Tyler, from a bathroom. And it was like such an impossible shot. Like, so we would throw this ball for my dog down the hallway. And, it's a straight hallway. And obviously you have to make a 90-degree turn to get into the bathroom, as you would. But then you have to make another 90-degree turn to get to like this little alcove where the toilet was. And we had removed it because we're replacing it. And it was so just the open hole was there for like 2 days. And she threw the ball and somehow it bounced perfectly, like just clipped the edge of the hall door, went at an angle to make it through the 90 degrees, bounced into the bathroom, then bounced and went just right and went down that hole. So if you don't know, like we had raised plumbing. So I had to crawl under the house and I'm like in a 3-foot space to get to this pipe, because here's the problem. I don't know if you know how plumbing works, vacuum anything, this tennis ball and the pipe gets a little bit smaller. So it was going to wedge and like block up all of our plumbing. And I had to calculate, because it comes down at an angle, obviously. I had to calculate where I thought the tennis ball stopped, Tyler. And this was at like midnight already. Like, where did it stop and how? And I only had like a really bad handsaw and then like a serrated knife to like try and get through it, through big PVC pipe. So anyways, I did this. And because I went and did this, my wife was like, I will work an extra shift for you for doing that because I messed up so bad. And she's like, and we can go buy you something cool because that was awesome that you were able to fix this and do all that in the middle of the night for me in the cold. I was like, okay, cool. And that's how I went and got my Turbo Duo right after I'd found Beyond Shadowgate. So yeah, I'm excited about it. This is why I put it on my shelf. But a warning, it's like $600, Tyler, or more. And it does come with a poster. So if you're going to get it, make sure you get the poster.
How many true rare exclusives are there? You're telling me that this $600 thing isn't worth it, Johnny?
I just told you what I did to be able to play it.
I mean,
Tyler.
you've done... that sounds like more than $600 worth of plumbing work to me.
Well, what I had to do and like the sludge I had to like put my hand into to get that fucking ball out. Just one of the worst things I've ever smelled in my life. Just truly terrible.
So Beyond Shadowgate was actually, the story of the game is that it was partially based on design documents for an NES sequel to Shadowgate, which would have been so much more sensible than a Turbografx CD sequel.
It's so much more sensible.
Instead, it got spun off into the Turbografx game. But then those original NES design documents were then made into another game called Beyond Shadowgate for the PC that just released last year. So that is not the same game as the Turbografx game.
And that, I think, that came out on the, I think Limited Run did a version of that on the Switch. Right?
I'll just say yes. Yeah, why not? I mean, of course.
Okay. Pretty sure. And then the other thing, this game has a bunch of alternate endings. Man, can you imagine like the clout this game would have had if it was just a Super Nintendo game?
I don't know. Would it really have had clout? Yeah. A point and click adventure game?
I think so. Yeah, like, I mean, it would have been not clout, but I think it would be more revered. Like Shadowgate's revered. I think, like, I just think the Shadowgate name would have translated better. They revisited it back on the N64, but it just never carried the same way.
I don't know. I think it's too PC of a genre. Like, no, you could not find a single person on Earth who cares about the SNES Ultima games.
No, but you Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, no one cares about the Scooby-Doo point-and-click adventure either.
I do.
I mean, you do, but you would care about anything Shadowgate. I don't even think like the Shadowgate Deja Vu. Like, I don't think these games are that revered by collectors.
Aren't they uninvited? Like, people don't love these. It's hard for me to separate because I love them so much.
I mean, I think they're cool. I just don't like it. Just look at prices compared to rarity, and I think that like they're shelf filler for a lot of people. I think people don't care. I think like Shadowgate, the concept of Shadowgate and how good of a game it is. Shadowgate is a really good game with a really good theme, and it does not command a really big price. And I know it's common, but there are cool horror games that command bigger prices. Like look at Splatterhouse on the Turbografx. That's a common horror game, but it has a bigger price because people think it's super cool. Shadowgate on NES does not really have that clout, right?
Shadowgate is such a cooler game than Splatterhouse.
It is. Dude, there's like
Fight me on that.
Super duper nice, complete with the Nintendo Power insert. Shadowgate is the first result on eBay for like $50.
Oh, nice.
And then like regular copies are like $30.
Yeah. So Deja Vu, Uninvited, and Shadowgate all have like hint books too that are like the size of the box that you can like, if you put it in a box holder, you can get that and put it in the back of the box holder. It looks really nice. Love it.
Yeah. Like I think like the hint book people maybe care about Shadowgate more than NES collectors.
That's probably true. Here's some fun facts. There's a bunch of alternate endings in this game. So this game doesn't play exactly like the original Shadowgate because you can see your character, unlike the original Shadowgate where you just, are first person. But this one, you can kind of see yourself on the screen. It's more point and click where your character is directed. I didn't love that change, but it's okay. You move really slow, which is unfortunate. There are 19 different endings in this game, Tyler. Which is cool.
Is that too many?
No.
Okay.
Like, you need replayability. Like, because Shadowgate, like, you replayed it a bunch because so many things could go wrong. You died so horribly.
All right, let me go on another tangent, Johnny. I was reading the first Choose Your Own Adventure game book recently, The Cave of Time.
Okay.
And
yes. What?
There have got to be 40 endings in that book of 150 pages. Like the average thing you do is go 6 pages and either die or just win. You could go like 6 pages flipping through the book and it's just like, and you made it back home, the end. And it's like, I need an ending that's definitive. I'm not going to read this book until I get every ending. I'm not like a visual novel person who's like, I got to exhaust every conversation option. I want to have like one long big story that leads to the good ending. And then like if you have like some deaths and those count as endings, like sure, but I want a canonical ending here, Johnny.
You wanted it more definitive. That's interesting.
I would and just that's my big criticism of Beyond Shadowgate, the game I haven't played.
Yeah. I would just consider those like bad endings and you're just trying to read till you get the good ending.
My problem with it was that there were so many good endings. Like I just like within 10 minutes of picking up the book, I got to a thing. It's like, and now you made it back to your time and you got home and everyone thought your adventure was so crazy. I'm like, that's it? Did I do it? And I kept reading and I'm like, oh no, there's like 100 good endings.
That's interesting. Now, you pulled me on this tangent, but did visual novels kill that genre, like the choose your own adventure? Have we just like spun it into a worse version where it's just like, now you can exhaust conversation trees? All these different things could happen.
Maybe it was too much of a gimmick and people just got sick of choose your own adventure, because they definitely got more complicated over time. And they like branched out into a bunch of cool genres.
They had a resurgence there for a while, back like, I don't know, like 5 years ago.
Did they? That's neat.
Yeah, they were like all over Target, and there was like choose your own adventure games based off the original books and stuff.
The in the UK they had it better because they had the fighting fantasy game books.
Yeah.
And whatever those other ones were called. Lone Wolf was that one? But yeah, like they had ones where you like had like stats and character sheets and rolled dice and like you discovered things and it's like if you've discovered the secret code word adage, then turn to page 33. Otherwise turn to page 56 and you're like, "Oh, how do I get that code word?" Anyway, yeah, this is why I read the first Choose Your Own Adventure books. I'm like, oh man, I was thinking about British Choose Your Own or British game books. I'm like, man, maybe the original Choose Your Own Adventure books are cool, and they're not. Unfortunate.
I'm sorry,
but Johnny, you know it is fortunate. Unless you got more to talk about Beyond Shadowgate, I know it's one of your favorites here.
Well, there's the scene where you can kill the narrator, and you can die from starvation in that game. That's my only other fun facts.
All right, you could die from starvation, so there's like a timer on the game.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, what a pain in the ass. Johnny, New Adventure Island is our fourth pick, and the last one we both agree on, kind of. It's an Adventure Island game. I can't keep the Adventure Island games straight. I think this might be Adventure Island 4, but there's also like the Super Adventure Island games, and I don't know how it all goes.
Just tell me what Mr. Higgins is up to.
Master Higgins is...
Mr. Master Higgins, yeah. Is it Henry Higgins?
I don't remember. He's chilling, and he's running, and he's throwing stuff and fireballs at dudes while like rocks and stuff bounce down hills, and he has to jump over them. So Adventure Island was this super balls to the wall hard NES platformer. And then every other game in the series is just like a really well-made, well-balanced platformer. I don't think any of the other ones like super duper hard. I think maybe the Wii one was super duper hard. No one played that. It doesn't matter. The Wii, I'm talking about the WiiWare one.
Oh, I don't think I ever played the WiiWare one.
It has like it's this horrible like 3D graphics on a 2D plane. In the era of the Wii graph, it looked horrible. But anyway,
man, I want a release of all the WiiWare like the remakes and stuff, all the WiiWare exclusive. I want them to do a compilation of that.
I would get that from Limited Run Games, dude. That's the stuff I want. Yeah. Stuff that's locked behind digital stuff that I have played that I can't own a physical copy of.
And just to be clear, Henry Higgins is from My Fair Lady, so it's definitely. I think he is just Master Higgins.
So close.
So yeah, I'm like, do they ever say his name, or is it just Master Higgins the whole
time? I think it's Master Higgins. Even the name of New Adventure Island in Japan is like it's like Master Higgins Real Adventure Island or something.
Master Takashi's. Great Adventure Island.
It's what's the actual name? Do you have it in front of you?
Takashi Maijin no Daiboken Jima, and which is Master Takashi's Great Adventure Island, and an apology for that pronunciation to anyone who speaks any kind of Japanese.
So, if I picked up a no-name platformer, unlike the NES or Super Nintendo, I might complain like, oh, this level design is kind of boring. All you do is run and jump over stuff. And Adventure Island has some mechanics, but it has the best, like, just running and jumping over it level design of maybe any series I could think of. Like, obviously, like, Mario's up there. It just feels really good. All those games feel really good.
The skateboard, man. The skateboard. What do you...
You can avoid the skateboard because you don't want the skateboard. It makes you go too fast. It's scary.
No, that was the fun part. Like, how long will I survive on this skateboard?
Johnny, I'll say the most striking thing about New Adventure Island is, man, it has one of the best box arts of all time. It is so good. Man, the Super Adventure Island box on Super Nintendo
is such dog shit. This box is so good. It might be one of the best boxes. I mean, I'm going to say it's one of the best boxes on the Turbografx, especially for a system I think that has like a lot of bad box art. This one is so good.
Yeah. It's Master Higgins and then a bunch of characters from the game standing behind him. He's got a pretty lady next to him and then a bunch of like animal-based bosses behind him. And what is like a wolf man, a pig man is the main guy, and he's wearing a top hat holding like a Disney villain scepter. And there's bats, and there's a dark castle in the background, and it's night, and there's like a full moon.
Full moon, yeah, it is so good. It's almost a horror cover. It's awesome.
Look up 5 seconds of any point of this game. You would think like this is a dark game, like this is like a cutesy like platformer that takes place on like fun outdoor stages, and it makes it look so serious. He's got a scowl on his face, which is such an American thing to have, like a cute character with like an angry look on his face. But this was a Japanese box art too.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but I love this box.
It's
and like
amazing.
the purples changing. Like this, it's a horror cover. I don't know what is happening in this. Like whoever made this box art, I thank them. But you didn't make the box art for this game. You did something else, and I'm here for it.
No, if you were just thinking like, like a happy prehistoric platforming adventure horror game, there is not a single like night stage in this entire game, and that's probably not true. But like every stage is like outdoor happy blue skies.
Bro rides a skateboard down a dinosaur. What do we? And then you get this box.
I think this. Right. I'm 100% not overrating this. Like my favorite box art that I could think of is probably DuckTales 2 for whatever reason. Maybe like Super Mario Galaxy 2. I just love those boxes. They're so colorful. And like this is up there. This is like almost top 10 maybe.
It's really good. Take a second to look at it, people. Okay, worth having on your shelf for that reason.
And so this is like $100, maybe a little over $100 for the PC Engine version, Johnny.
Now, do you think because the box is so good that they should buy it in a bigger platform like the US version because it's only like $230?
How is that? This isn't a hidden gem. This is one of the most beloved Turbografx games. Like every list will have New Adventure Island on it. How is it only $230?
I don't know.
That's like almost the cheapest game on your entire list.
I know.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I know.
Right, I guess go get the American one. This is a game I think gives you instant shelf clout.
Yeah. Also, what's weird about this is like there's like how many prehistoric games does the Turbografx need? Like,
yeah,
like coming off a bonk and then this. Yeah, this is weird.
I don't like prehistoric games, which is why like Adventure Island and like Bonk's Revenge are like maybe a little bit exceptions, but yeah, we don't need no prehistoric games. It's not interesting. Get out of here with your Radical Rex and what's the other Sega CD
Radical
one?
Rex. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs?
Nope. Oh God, fuck that too. Why am I does it have a baby? What is Johnny, come on, there's only 140 some Sega CD games. Chuck Rock.
Chuck Rock, yes. Chuck Rock. Well, you said Sega CD. I think Chuck Rock 1 and 2 more as Genesis games, but yeah, you're right.
Well, some of us have class, all right?
Not you.
And look at the age we're in today. No one's making prehistoric games anymore.
So just going back to box art, if you want similar box art, they had, so it looks like maybe the same artist did the Adventure Island Part 2 box for PAL, for Famicom, or Famicom PAL.
What? You said PAL and Famicom. Good. What are you talking about?
Sorry, on the NES, the PAL version of Adventure Island Part 2. It's got a good box. And they did Adventure Island Classic, which looks almost the same. That's weird. So that it's like the same artist. They must have just had this guy doing art for it.
Oh, that's weird. So wait, the PAL version on the NES has unique art?
Yeah. So did he do the box for Super Adventure Island 2? It looks very similar.
I mean, it must be the same artist, right?
Yeah. Gotta be. Anyways, Yeah, and the Super Adventure Island art on again PAL is really good, and then in America it's trash. I don't know what happened.
And then in America, the same guy who did the Super Adventure Island art did the Game Boy games, and those look like trash. It's just like a schlubby, zero charisma guy holding like a boomerang or a tomahawk or something.
Yeah, it's got like a hat that's too small with just like super dad bod.
Yeah,
just dumb.
Like if there was ever a character to make over stylized and animated, it's Master Higgins over here.
Well, yeah, and it's like weird because they give him like it looks like he almost has long hair, and he's got like it almost is like Hawaiian themed looking. Like he's got like a grass skirt on and stuff. You're just like, what is happening? This is not what this game is. So I don't know what they did, but yeah, this is a case. We should do that. Like let's do a box art.
That's a terrible idea for an audio podcast. Make a YouTube video about it.
No. I like to bring it up every time we do it because you always say that. It's a fun joke I play for you. Anyways, let's move on to the next game.
Johnny, we diverge here a little bit. I chose Gate of Thunder, which is
interesting. That's a good choice.
The horizontal shooter that was made by the Thunder Force guys, which Technosoft, which I guess was common knowledge, and I did not realize that at all. It's probably called that to be like, hey, we're Technosoft employees, and we made the Thunder Force games, and we're going to make another game, so you should buy it because we're the cool guys who made those games that you really love. And I just thought, like, oh, Gate of Thunder, that name sounds cool. I thought that's why I named it Gate of Thunder.
Are you cheating? Is this how you got Adventure Island into your list or Bonk's Adventure Island? Because when you buy this, it's like a 3-pack. You picking a multi-cart or a multi-CD here?
I have two great reasons to buy the Japanese version, and one is that it came out first, and it's a true exclusive. Two, it doesn't come in the stupid American multi-pack. You get a standalone release that feels more important, and I love that. Also, it's got way cooler box art. The Japanese box art is like this green or red spaceship, and it's got like 10 billion guns on it. It looks so stupid. It looks like AI art in how many guns this thing has.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
Oh, well. It's better than the American one. It's just like a ship pointing away from you.
No, I'm saying the American one. Yeah. This is nothing to get excited about. But I think it's a good choice. I went because I didn't want a multi-pack, and I think it's like this is a common theme on this system. I went with Lords of Thunder, which is like the sequel spiritually. I don't know if story-wise it lines up, but it's just like polished, and it's its own thing, not a multi-pack, and wasn't packed in with the console. So I went with Lords of Thunder. Got a sweet soundtrack too. You heard the Lords of Thunder soundtrack?
I played Lords of Thunder on Sega CD. I don't know if the soundtrack is the same.
Oh, I probably is.
Yeah, I think people go back and forth between these two games because Gate of Thunder is harder, and Lord of Thunder has like the coolest soundtrack ever. It's just like a heavy metal soundtrack. And Gate of Thunder soundtrack is not good. It's not like an exciting soundtrack, but it's maybe more to chew on if you want to, how about this? If you want to just blow through a game and beat it the first time and be rocking out for like a solid 45 minutes just to like a constant heavy metal soundtrack, then Lords of Thunder, definitely your game. If you want to maybe get stuck and have to play the game a few times before you can even beat it, then I think Gate of Thunder, probably the better game. Also, I chose it as, this is again, not at all a hidden gem. These are some of the most beloved shooters on the system. It's a really big counterpoint to Soldier Blade, because Soldier Blade is a vertical shooter, Gate of Thunder horizontal, and in addition to being horizontal, it's a lot more fiddly with like crawling through tight spaces and like having like missiles shooting up from the bottom of the screen while you have to avoid them. And I think Lords of Thunder too, it doesn't have that kind of aspect. It feels more like shooting in open space. There's probably, like, again, I'm not a shooter expert. There's probably like a name for what I'm talking about. Like, oh, you're talking about a cavern crawler shooter compared to a wide open space shooter? Like, yeah, they're just very different feeling games.
They are. I like it. It was a fun game to play. Well, you finish yours. How much was yours? And then I'll finish off Lords of Thunder.
Gate of Thunder, it's like $100, and I think it's been that for like a long time. This price has not moved. And I think maybe that's the case with a lot of these Japanese games. And I'm just realizing this because I bought most of my PC Engine stuff like maybe 10 years ago. And I think I paid $100 for Gate of Thunder probably close to 10 years ago. And that number has been the same. There's like zero COVID bump for a lot of this stuff. That's weird. I mean, it's not weird. I guess it's good.
Yeah. So, it's also like it is a multi-cart or a multi-disc or multi-pack on CD in America, which is kind of interesting in the sense that you get to play the Bonks games in the CD format. So, like, there's some appeal to me in that. But
so it came with Bonks Adventure, Bonks Revenge, and Bomberman. Just straight up Bomberman, which is not Bomberman. It's Bomberman. Don't keep games the same name, but it's Bomberman 1990 for the Turbografx, not the original Bomberman, nor the NES Bomberman.
So, but still cool. You can play the CD versions of them, which is an improvement over Hue cards for some things. Lords of Thunder. This game, well, you said it's $100. Lords of Thunder is about $300. Pretty much all the same stuff that Tyler was talking about applies, like the developers and everything. Cool game, cool soundtrack. I was telling Tyler this. I, for some reason, for a long time, would look at this box art and I didn't understand what was going on. I thought there was only one person in the image. So there's a guy with blue armor on in this box art. And then there's like another person above them, like directly above, but I didn't see it as blue armor. Like I recognized it was armor, but it looks like shoulder pauldrons and like a cape. I thought it was all one thing attached to like someone who had like a duck head or something. And nope, that's not what this box art is at all. So there's a second person, but it's just a dude in a blue armor. And then there's a person behind him. And there's actually, if you look at it without the words on, there's a lot going on in this art. Too much, one might say. Anyways, go enjoy this game. It's a super CD game, and it's pretty cool. I like it.
Oh, I guess we haven't always been distinguishing between Turbo Chip and CD games. Honestly, man, if you have the money to get into Turbografx, you're going to be buying at least some way to play the CD games. Don't tell me you're just buying a Turbografx only to play Turbo Chip games. If you're here to waste your money, let's do it right. Also, does that new analog made a Turbografx? Does that have a CD drive in it?
Does it? I don't know if that does or not.
It's called the Duo. It's got it, right? Yeah, so it looks like a PC Engine Duo. So yeah, it's got the CD drive and the Turbo Chip thing. This probably came out since our Turbografx episode. So update, the best way to play Turbografx games is probably to buy an analog Duo.
Maybe.
Which Wired gave a 6 out of 10 review to. I don't know why. I'm not going to read it.
Oh, no, now I got to know. I'm just kidding.
I'm just seeing, this seems like the thing that people would buy and then realize a couple years later that they're never going to use. So I'm just seeing how much it is on eBay. There's a lot. So they're like $250 to $300. That's probably in line with what they originally cost, right?
Probably, I imagine.
All right. So it's not that bad. I mean, you're going to spend that much. If you're going to get like a modded, the old thing to do would have been to get like a modded PC Engine Duo R and like hook it up to an RGB scaler or something. And this is just cheaper overall. So just go do this, or just be sensible and illegally download all your games from coolrom.com.
We don't support the piracy of intellectual properties on this podcast.
Up Nintendo. Everything else is okay, but not Nintendo, because they'll sue us.
Oh, okay. Everyone else maybe then. The other thing, like you could, like if you have a Turbo Duo, they're notoriously going to fail on you. So make sure you get the capacitors recapped. So it's like a thing you have to do with it. Have to, I would say.
Johnny, we agree, kind of. So we didn't really agree on that, but we're really on the same vibe with Gate of Thunder and Lords of Thunder.
Yeah.
And then for our next game,
either of those are, I would, if I was I like to keep it individual. I could easily put both on my list.
Yeah, I think. We don't want to have too much repeat stuff here. If this is going to be our first 10 games sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've got Neutopia, and you've got Neutopia 2 as well. And I only have Neutopia because I would rather have the first in a series, and also I haven't played Neutopia 2. As far as I understand, Neutopia 2 is virtually identical as a game to Neutopia, so if you want the more collectible, more expensive, cooler one, that's like, oh, you have one of the fancy Turbografx games, I guess Neutopia 2 would be the pick.
Absolutely. It's just a better game, too.
Is it a better game? I had always heard that it's almost the same.
No, they fix stuff in Neutopia 2. I mean, people always want to call it the Zelda clone. I don't know if I agree with like that. Some people go real crazy and it's like, oh, it's better than Zelda. And I'm like, I think there's a reason Zelda's still around and Neutopia isn't. But I like Neutopia. I liked 1. It was fine. Neutopia 2 I liked better. So it might just be my own personal bias coming through that I liked Neutopia 2 better. But yeah, I think Neutopia 2 is a better game.
All right. Yeah, I think this is one of these, like, people will tell you to play this because they'll be like, it's like Zelda for the other console that's not Nintendo. And it is so not as good as literally any Zelda game. It's Zelda-ish in that it's an action-adventure game. The thing I remember is you get a magic compass and you have a ton of NPCs that tell you exactly where to go. And I'm almost positive that the game is linear. So it's like an open world, but like, you gotta hit these 8 dungeons in order, let's be real. Which, I mean, a lot of Zelda games are like that too, but it does not feel like an open world. It feels like every character is telling you exactly where to go, or the magic compass is telling you exactly where to go. Whereas Zelda, even when it strings you along in a linear path, like it feels like, oh, I just went down up here to Kakariko Village and there's Mount Doom behind it. And it just feels so much more organic the way you're discovering things in a Zelda game.
I think that's well said because that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and I think the one exception to these fucking games is Golden Axe Warrior. I think Golden Axe Warrior is as good as a Zelda game, and all these other fake Zelda games are not as good as Zelda games.
No, people will say that about Crusader of Senti, and I like Crusader of Senti too, but this is not the same.
The only other thing I remember about Neutopia is that in Zelda 2, when you beat a dungeon, does it happen in Zelda 1? I don't think so. But in Zelda 2, you beat a dungeon and it like crumbles, so you can't go back into it. And there are like reasons to go back to dungeons in Neutopia. You could bomb like secret walls and maybe find some extra stuff. But like the dungeon entrances never close, so there's just like a bunch of places for you to waste your time. Anyway,
that's kind of cool.
It's a decent game. It's different than anything else that we've got on our list, and that's an overhead action adventure game. And on PC Engine, Johnny, it's only $20.
Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, I want you to spend $300 if you just want it CIC, and then maybe up to $600 if you want it complete in box. Ugh. Sorry, guys.
You should probably buy Beyond Shadowgate instead of Neutopia 2, although it is 100%. A real exclusive.
Yeah. I look, both of these games are worthy to be on your shelf, and they're interesting games that you're not going to have like a bunch of overlap of, which is also nice in your collection. Like, it's fine when you're like, all right, well, like I love Castlevania more than most things, right? But you're like, look at all the same, like look at all these Castlevanias I have. They're like all kind of samey. Like you can see them all over the system. Like you're just going to find Neutopia and Beyond Shadowgate, like right there. So it's kind of nice. Anyways, Tyler, yeah, $600. And this is one of those plastic tray games. So if you see someone selling a case for Neutopia and they want it CIC, they've cannibalized it, 3D printed, or done one of these tricks. We talked about ways to play, but you can also, besides the analog, there is the Polymega, which you can get the turbo unit, I think, for, and it plays all CD games. So that's a thing you can do too, just so you guys know.
All right. Is Polymega still a thing? Are they still releasing new stuff for the Polymega?
I don't know. I really like I'm a fan of the Polymega, so I hope so. But I also, after I got it and got all the stuff I needed, I didn't really have a reason to go back.
Well, if you get the deluxe bundle of Polymega with a bunch of controllers and I guess it's for you get the power element module, the super element module, the mega element module, and the turbo module. That sounds like you could probably play NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, and Turbografx for a mere $700.
Well, the base unit is like $550, which seems expensive until you're like, oh, it plays all the Sega CD stuff. Like basically all the CD games up to PS1 it tackles, which is nice. Did they ever make their gun controller? That was like the thing I wanted.
They did. It's $100. You can go get one right now.
I don't think it has released yet. I think it's still in pre-order. I think it's been in pre-order for like 3 years.
I don't know. It doesn't. Oh, expected to be released early 2025.
It's early 2025.
This is like in another week. I'm going to say it's no longer early 2025.
Yeah, we are almost out of Q1. Q1 is early. Now Q2 is mid. So we are flirting with disaster.
So what you're talking about, just in case anyone's not keeping up with the Polymega news from 2019, they are making an HD TV light gun for $100, which sounds like exactly the thing that would get $250,000 of pre-orders, and then everyone would get it and be like, "Oh, this is dog shit." So definitely something to wait for reviews for and not buy the pre-order with the marketing YouTube video.
I would agree. And I think there are some people who have had one in hand. Yeah, I also need them to like... The problem with that is the best light gun games come after the PS1. Like, the PS2, like, I want to be able to play the whole range of experience. I want to be able to play from Duck Hunt up to Time Crisis 2 and Vampire Saviors or Survivor, like on my system, and just not going to quite get that. And that upsets me.
I guess that is kind of strange that it's a product for light gun enthusiasts, but to really have, if you're going to have everything from an NES to a PS2 hooked up to a TV, it's like, and you're a light gun person, you're going to have a CRT, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe they just figure that we'll get around to it eventually. It'll be the everything console. They just gotta.
I hope so.
Chip things away.
I hope they get PS2 on that. That would be fine with me. Let's get there. Make an agreement so I can just play those specific PS2 games. Anyways,
Johnny, we developed these two lists of games independently and more or less agree on 6 out of our top 10 games that we would collect. We're very different people.
Yes. People say we agree a lot, but as far as our taste in games, we are not all that similar.
Oh, I just realized that we're going to be talking about some PC Engine games later. I just realized that the next game I was going to talk about is a PC Engine game. And the rest of my games haven't been PC Engine games. But neither of us has Castlevania on our list. We saved that for later. Anyway, I don't care. Johnny, Bomberman 94.
Oh.
A game I only know about because I played Bomberman 93 on the Virtual Console, and I liked it so much that I went and I played Bomberman 94 as well. The best Bomberman game is very obviously Bomberman 64 because it is the least Bomberman game, and Bomberman is not a very good game. So Bomberman 64 is the best because it is the least like Bomberman.
Counterpoint, Sega Saturn Bomberman, best Bomberman.
See, no, because it's not. Well, it's up there. But
I mean, I think that's like the most common reaction is that's the best one.
I mean, that is the best one. I think, all right, so Saturn Bomberman has like incredible graphics, and it's got like really nice, like big boss battles. I don't really like Bomberman boss battles, which might be a reason I don't like Saturn Bomberman as much. And then the other thing Saturn Bomberman has is 10-player multiplayer, which you're never going to get. You're an adult. When was the last time you had 6 people over your house? You're not going to play 10-player multiplayer, but people like the idea that it's like, oh, it's the most extreme Bomberman. Maybe they'll probably have a way to play it at the Midwest Gaming Classic coming up, though.
Probably. They definitely have it like always set up at Portland. I don't know about Midwest Gaming Classic.
I mean, they've got like Steel Battalion rooms and stuff, so it's your way to play like games you can't play anywhere else as a game convention.
It's true. I look, if it's set up, you should try it out. Like, if you can jam a game of 10-person Bomberman, you should do it just to say you did it.
I mean, that's exactly the reason to do it, is to say that you did it.
Yeah.
So you could speak from authority when you're saying, no, actually, Saturn Bomberman is the best Bomberman game. No, guys, it's Bomberman 64. It has nothing to do with the fact that I played it when I was like 11. Shut the fuck up. But Bomberman 94, it has those great graphics. Maybe not Sega Saturn graphics. It's got super nice graphics. It doesn't have the super long, annoying boss battles that I die in and I game over because I'm not that good at Saturn Bomberman. I don't like having to play the game multiple times to beat it. And you get to ride this cute little kangaroo thing called a Louie. It's a little like kangaroo alien that Bomberman gets to ride around on, which you only also get to do in Super Bomberman 3 and 5. And there's probably another Bomberman. And it's not that long. It doesn't really overstay its welcome. And you know what? Here's my real big point for Bomberman 94. If you are playing Bomberman in 2025, especially if you're like going back to games you haven't played yet, you don't care about Bomberman that much. Because the people who care about Bomberman have been playing Bomberman their entire lives. And you're just like, yeah, I just want to know what's the best Bomberman game? Let me sit down, let me play that for an hour or two. And this is the game where you can just go and play it for an hour or two, and it'll end. It'll be over. It won't be like this 3-hour thing with 8 boss battles. It does have boss battles, but it's not, and it's got like variety. It's not like the original, the NES Bomberman is just like 100 stages, and they're all the fucking same. I think this is the Bomberman game, and you know what? It's $20, and there's a sealed copy for $50, which I looked at, and I'm like, well, should I buy this? I do like this game a lot. Until I remembered I should just save up for a sealed copy of Bomberman 64, the best Bomberman game.
Oh, I mean, and plus, if you wanted this, you could just buy Mega Bomberman, because this is just Mega Bomberman.
Is it really just Mega Bomberman?
Well,
there you
this
go.
this Mega Bomberman is really this. So this came out, and then Mega Bomberman is a kind of downgraded port of Bomberman 94. So no cutscenes, no CD audio. So, which makes it a worse copy.
Oh, and you still get to ride on the Louis.
Yeah.
Look at that. All right. Well, if you like Mega Bomberman, God damn it. I was trying to pick exclusives for my list. Which, I mean, maybe there's enough differences for it to count as a different game, but whatever. Get Bomberman 93 then, and then you can get the American copy if you want.
Okay. Hey, Tyler.
Hey.
You want to hear about my next game? You've never heard of it. You've never heard of this game, I promise. Hey, have you ever heard of Loom? This game no one's ever heard of?
Oh, we're talking about like PC Engine and TurboGrafx games, Johnny, not PC games. Maybe you got mixed up because PC Engine, PC.
I knew you would say that, but I think if you're collecting TurboGrafx games and PC Engine games, I think you aren't necessarily collecting big box PC games. I'm not telling you this is the best version of Loom to own, because that's clearly the special edition on a USB stick released by Limited Run Games. I'm telling you, if you collect this and you want something cool on your shelf, you should get Loom.
Really? It's
disagree?
Like the same price as the PC one almost.
But if you are collecting, if you are collecting for the TurboGrafx, right, then you want Loom. It's got full voice acting on it. It still has the soundtrack. LucasArts. What do you want to know about Loom?
It doesn't have a box,
why aren't you on
right?
board with Loom? What's that?
It doesn't have like a cardboard box?
No.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's a point in its favor. So it's not $600.
No, it's actually like relatively cheap. You can get it for like $120. It's like pretty good. It's the cheapest game on my list.
Oh man, Loom has gone up in price on PC. No, you should probably spend like $200 on a PC copy of Loom.
Okay, so this is the cheaper version. And so if you don't know, it's like a graphic adventure game. It's one of the LucasArts games. Like this is a place to get your LucasArts game, and it's a different style game than what most of these are. So it adds fun diversity into your shelf. And you get to be like, hey, this is a LucasArts game, which is cool.
I don't know. I mean, Loom is a cool game because Loom.
Yeah.
I remember it being easy, but also interesting because there's a lot of like musical puzzles. I don't remember a lot about Loom actually. I remember a lot of puzzles required like music to solve them, but it wasn't that hard. It was more just like, oh, this is an interesting mechanic rather than going to my inventory and clicking every item against every object in the world until something happens. It was really kind of more straightforward than that, and yeah, it's a nice little adventure game. It's really beautiful. It's got a big like harp or organ with all these different rainbow of notes,
strings. Yeah,
yeah.
It's yeah.
Do you get like put in like a jail and you have to escape the jail at the end of the game? I'm thinking of the right game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's an FM Towns version of it too. There's a DOS version. So this was kind of ported all over. Amiga, Atari, you can get all kinds of this. And then, like I said, Limited Run did a version of it as well. So even something modern if you want something.
All right. I think that there are a bunch of these LucasArts ports, like you can get Secret of Monkey Island on Sega CD. If you're like a super fan, you need all the ports. All right. But if I'm going to get one, it's going to be the PC version. Look, and this isn't me being like the elitist, like only the original version matters. I mean, come on.
No,
it's a point and click game still.
I think if you are trying to have all the LucasArts games, if that's your thing, you should definitely have the PC version. That's not like, this is not the home for that specifically. I think if you're collecting Turbografx games and Turbo CD games, then this belongs on your shelf in that collection.
All right. Maybe I don't understand because I don't actually collect Turbografx games because I have such a big Turbografx collection.
But yeah, I was very pleased when I got Loom. So whatever. I like it a lot, and that's why I put it on there. People love Loom. So we're going to put that on a shirt.
People love Loom.
Yeah, people love Loom. It's like live, laugh, love, but people love Loom.
I mean, I think you could probably get a shirt that says "Ask me about Loom."
People love Loom. Live, laugh, Loom.
Johnny. Tyler. Okay, well, you're really. I didn't even write anything down for this. Gunhead, which is Blazing Lasers, which has got to be the most universally recommended PC Engine game besides Castlevania. I don't think there's a lot to say about it. It's maybe similar to Soldier Blade in that it's just a really well-made vertical 2D shooter, really fast, lots of shit on screen at all times. And Johnny, it's like $50 in Japan. This game costs nothing for how beloved it is in America. I have no idea what the reception in Japanese audiences is, but I don't know what to say about 2D. I could describe the weapons to you. You got the lasers, which they kind of expand out and then go straight up the screen, and then you got like the boomerang looking things that you go like, and then as you're turning, they curve with you, and then you just got like your normal shots that are just like pew 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 pew, and they go straight up the screen. But then you get like the balls that are going around you, and they're just like whoa 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 whoa, and you got like this whole shield of balls going around you, slamming all the bullets and stuff out of the way. Yeah, it's a cool game. It's the kind of game. Yeah, it makes me feel like a kid and do that. Johnny, is what Blazing Lasers is.
That was very descriptive. I enjoyed your audio interpretation.
Yeah. Hopefully, if you've played it, you understood that. If you didn't, just imagine, a 7-year-old really excited about his new Turbografx game.
Man, that was an audio dance. Yeah, I appreciate you.
That's it. I mean, just get it. It's not on your list. I don't know. You just for like, Soldier Blade kind of takes everything. It takes the spot of everything. Like, what does Blazing Lasers cost? A couple $100?
Probably less than that, I think.
Wow, what a better deal than spending $1,000 on Soldier Blade.
Yeah, but Blazing Lasers is like you want to get a couple clout pieces, and also I think all of these games are generally expensive. So if you're collecting Turbo, you kind of know what you're in for, I think.
Yeah, Blazing Lasers complete in box with the cardboard box, it's like $100. Not bad.
Great deal. Yeah. Now, if we were doing the best deals which we should do the best deals on every system. I think did Ada, is that one of her recommended ones?
It was something similar to that. Yeah, I think that's a totally fine episode.
Yeah.
You know what? The reason you're saying that everyone will be like, oh, it's just blazing lasers. Like Soldier Blade has cool box art. It's like this spaceship in the sky, and Blazing Lasers has like the lamest box art ever. It's like almost on what's the banjo game?
Oh, Phalanx.
Yeah, it's almost like Phalanx tier. It looks like the most generic shooter, and it's such a frenetic game. I don't understand how they got it so wrong. And any art, who are they contracting to do art? If you hire an artist and you're just like, all right, it's like the coolest spaceships and lasers game ever, and you could just draw whatever you want. Because you know what? It's a video game. It doesn't really need to represent what's in the package, so just draw like the coolest, detailed spaceship sci-fi thing you want with laser, whatever. Just go crazy with it. And they just drew like, oh, how about we just have like one ship on a blank background that's shooting something?
Fun.
It's awful. Literally it would be a $300 game if it had cool box art, blazing lasers. Guarantee it.
I don't understand how they didn't understand that better box art would sell games.
Wait, what if we use the same font for every game to make them all feel just like really kind of low budget and manufactured, like assembly line?
Just man, we're going to talk about some more lame box art for a game that is like completely underrepresented later. But Tyler, I'm going to transition us into good box art. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Dungeons and Dragons: Order of the Griffin. You've seen the box. What good box art. Man, what an awesome looking box for a game that's just fine.
I mean, describe it. It's like a badass skeletal dragon. It's like a bone dragon, and a mage is shooting it with lightning.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. So cool. Yeah, like it, and like they, for as much as they put on the box, like they kind of kept the text out of the way of most of the good stuff, which sometimes doesn't happen. But yeah, you've got like a knight, and like a wizard, and a mage on there, and you're just like, man, this looks like an epic battle. And you look like maybe you're in some ruins or a cavern or something. Like you're like, sweet, this is D&D art. I know this is a Dungeons and Dragons game. I'm excited. It is the only official Dungeons and Dragons game released.
Really? Is the only one?
16. Yeah. It was made by Westwood Associates, and they are the same people who did Command and Conquer. So that's a fun fact for you. It does use the basic D&D rule set, not AD&D, but Dungeons and Dragons, like 1983 box set rules.
I think,
cool,
Johnny,
right?
These days we call it BXD&D, which stands for Basic Expert Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I didn't know that. We just called it D&D because I'm old. Anyways, they made it very similar to the like PC gold box D&D titles that were out there. And the game they tried to make like that as well. But I think the box is so good. It really stands out. And where like some of those gold box D&D games, like they kind of windowed the art. This does not do that at all. They did such a good job. It's kind of hard to find a complete box. Not terribly hard, but it gets a little difficult, especially if you want it in nice condition. You can buy this for around $200 to $300, depending on the condition of the box. So it does really vary. And sometimes people just put up buy it nows on this stuff, and you just score a deal. So I would put this in my watch list and look, not just jump on the first one you see, because not always a ton come up. Is my point there. You can choose between some party options. The party is kind of built already, but you can get like an elf with a mohawk, which is cool, like a female elf. There's a dwarf, a cleric. It does take place in the Mystara campaign, which is cool, and it is named like all the other basic D&D rules. So like your spells are going to have that. So if you're really familiar with original D&D, this is mapped right onto that. And a lot of the dialogue was pulled right from the rules and module books. And Tyler, you'll like this feature. You got to beat it in one sitting.
Oh,
there's no save.
What?
There's no save.
This game is so long. I'm looking at this on YouTube right now. This game has got to be, I don't know, 8 hours long.
It does. It has passwords. Okay. Yeah, it does have a password, but this is not like save and put down.
So I mean, I'm just looking at it. It looks like a gold box game kind of. So you got like the first person running around towns, and then you got like the tactical battles.
Yeah, they tried. That's what they were going for. They were trying to get it like the gold box D&D games, stripped down obviously to be on a console, not a computer. But they did a pretty good job. Like it's not the best game, but it looks awesome. And like we're talking about gameplay and stuff, but on the shelf, man, this thing looks great. Who doesn't want to see a giant bone dragon being fought by wizards? Come on.
It's definitely cool because only so many people collect Turbografx, especially these days. And when you do see Turbografx games, it's like, all right, you got Bonk, you got Splatterhouse. And like if you see anything besides like the common Turbografx games, like it immediately is like, oh, you got one of the good games. And this is definitely one of the like, oh, not everybody has this. And I'm speaking from a place of understanding to everyone who doesn't have cool Turbografx games, because I don't have cool Turbografx games. Literally none.
You could. Maybe that's what you can look for when we go to Midwest Gaming Classic.
I'm not even going to bring box protectors for them, and they're such a weird size that even if I found it, I'd be like, well, I'm never going to be able to bring this home. No,
you'd have to give them to Mike and be like, I'm going to send you box protectors. Can you ship these to me?
It's like, Mike, buy us all badges. Also, Mike, hold all our stuff while we go have fun. Also, Mike, ship us all our games when the convention's over. And Mike's just there working 16-hour days of just like tied to a chair because he's not allowed to move. If you guys, man, working at a game convention, in my mind, it's just like,
no, he could have just come.
What?
He could have just come and hung out. He wants to work the convention.
He does want to work the convention.
So I'm not going to feel
money,
that bad
not to
for
hang
him
out with friends and have fun.
Yeah. He's like, I love money. Fuck people. That's what he said. If they want to talk to me, they know where I'll be.
Scott Adams is going to be there again, and I got a copy of Adventureland for him to sign.
Ooh, I've got to bring the count.
You got to remember this time.
Yeah. Anyways. Go buy D&D. It's sweet. What a sweet box. It's like, that's such good box art. New Adventure Island has such good box art. Like, you can't really go wrong with this.
Johnny, if you like dungeon crawling adventures, do I have the suggestion for you? Speaking of the boring common Turbografx games that will get you absolutely no clout on social media while you're farming to justify your existence and your purchases, Dungeon Explorer for the Turbografx 16 is in my top 10 games I would start my collection with. It's like a Gauntlet RPG. It's like Gauntlet, but they added a little bit more RPG elements, like you talk to NPCs, you level up, you do stupid fetch quests, but primarily the game is like you're in dungeons of monsters, just like shooting them arcade style.
Okay.
As far as I remember, this was like an absolutely worthless game that no one talks about, and it was like $40 complete in box. I was so shocked because it's like $100 to $200 now, which for freaking Dungeon Explorer seems like a lot. This is also in the line of Turbografx games that got very, very similar sequels. So there's a Dungeon Explorer 2, just like there's a Neutopia 2, just like there's a Legendary Axe 2, and all of them are just very similar to their predecessors. But I'm going with the original, especially because it's way cheaper. I'm just assuming it's way cheaper. I didn't look up Dungeon Explorer 2 prices, but all those sequels are more expensive.
Okay.
You don't seem that enthusiastic about my Dungeon Explorer pick.
A little boring.
It's just like D&D. It's like you go through fantasy dungeons.
Little boring.
You picked a turn-based fantasy game. I'm picking the action arcade game. And you're calling my pick boring?
Look, we're a collecting podcast. If you put it on the shelf, I'm not that excited to see it.
Oh my God. It's a classic. It's part of something everybody had. It's common.
I'm not excited.
Oh my God. Me. All right. What's something you got that's exciting?
Look, man, don't act like you didn't know. You started your statement with you were already hedging knowing that it wasn't that interesting.
It's my collection. It's meant to make me happy.
Look, you should, if you like that, go do that for you. But if you want to impress me, you want me to look at yourself and be like, damn, Daniel, that ain't it. And a reference that is old. So that's cool.
That's all right. I didn't get it, so
That's
everyone
okay.
else under 35 didn't either.
Maybe. I think 35 is maybe the target age. I think you should have gotten it.
Really? Am I 35? Am I 36? I don't even know how old I am.
I forget how old I am all the time. It's not important. Anyways, Tyler, it's a fine choice. It's fine. It's fine. I would definitely be like, oh yeah, I mean, you're one of those guys with turbo games.
That is exactly the reaction that Dungeon Explorer would get you. That's so funny.
Like, all right. Here's one that's going to get a much better reaction. I don't know. You can tell me I'm wrong. Devil's Crush. You like Devil's Crush? I know how much you love digital pinball.
Johnny, I don't like digital pinball. I think it's kind of all bad.
You're trying, even this.
You're trying, yes, even the actually, like especially this. You're trying to simulate something that can't be simulated in a computer. It's like digital skydiving or digital roller coasters. Like you could get close, you could do something interesting, but you can't replicate the original experience, and that's really all I want.
Okay, well, I don't expect this to be the same thing. I expect it to be its own thing, so I can live if they're not the same. Look, Devil's Crush, pretty awesome. Part of the Crush series. You can slot in Alien Crush if that is your preference. I prefer Devil. It's a cool digital pinball game if you like that kind of thing. Again, there's like a horror game, so that's why it's speaking to me and why I would be impressed to see it on your shelf and why I put it on my shelf. It is, like I said, part of the Crush series. It is made by Compile. So if you like that kind of thing, here is the big downside, Tyler.
All right, you give your downside, I'll give my downside.
Okay, I know what you're going to say is like, oh, the physics and everything plays like shit. So what you're going to try me. Music is awesome. The box art is terrible. Terrible box art.
I'm not going to agree as much as... No, I'm not even going to agree. I think the box art is so stupid that it works. It's fine. It's a lot. Like, usually, if a box art is, like, boring, like Blazing Lasers is the most boring box art, like, there's nothing to even bite your teeth into. This is so dumb. It's like a dragon wearing a helmet in the middle of a pinball playfield, and the flippers are at the bottom. It's a lot.
But that's the thing. The box art does not match the game at all. If you play this game, you're looking at it, you're like, what the hell did I see on the box that is even remotely like this? Like, the art in the game is cool. It's pretty stylized and horror. Like, the box just doesn't do it any kind of justice.
I mean,
at all.
The things in the game are like skeletons with tendons and jewels for eyes. Like, it would have been way cooler to have that, but I don't know if they thought that would like scare people off from buying the game.
They just made it so stupid. Like, you're just like, what? Why? Why did you mess up this bad? They did the same thing with Alien Crush, really. They just put this goofy alien on it. They're like, give it like 100 eyes. That'll be cool. Or no, you know what? Maybe only 7. 7 and make them goofy. God, I hate the box art for these games. Such cool games. Such terrible box art.
Hey, I'm not that into Alien Crush, but I kind of like the Devil's Crush box art the more I look at it.
So, it does feature like a bunch of like inverted crosses, so upside down crosses, demon faces, skeletal stuff.
Pentagrams,
the US version,
I think.
Yeah, the US version had those censored kind of, but they didn't get all of them, so the censoring wasn't complete. So you can still find some of it in the game. Cool things about it: it has multi-tier pinball tables and animated elements. Do you like that? And boss battles and bonus stages.
That's just like what it is. The entire game is like a multi-tiered pinball thing.
So here's a fun fact. Alien Crush. It's on the Genesis, right?
What? Is it?
Alien Crush, isn't it? Am I wrong about that?
I don't know. One of us is very wrong.
Oh my God. Am I stroking out? I thought Alien Crush is on the Genesis.
The dragon one was on Genesis.
So maybe that's just it. I was going to say, so this got a port. Yeah, it is. This is on the Genesis as Dragon's Fury. That's what I'm trying to get at. Cool, right?
Yeah. As someone who doesn't like digital pinball, Also, it's not. What? It's a sequel to Devil's Crush, Dragon's Revenge.
No, this was like they changed some of the stuff, but it was basically a port.
All right, well, you need to go fix Wikipedia. Also, Dragon's Fury is way less cool of a name than Devil's Crush, which is probably why I didn't own it as a kid.
Also, Psycho Pinball. If you want a fun pinball game on the Genesis, go get Psycho Pinball.
All right, or you could just ignore all those, because all digital pinball is bad. And you know what the bad thing I was going to say about Devil's Crush? The absolute worst thing about digital pinball is when they have little guys marching around the playfield, because all that does is it ruins all the flow that the ball's going to have. And it makes it, every shot is so much less satisfying when, just to pick off all these little dudes marching around the playfield. I hate it so much. Johnny, if you want a digital pinball game, okay. Zaccaria Pinball is a collection of rare Italian pinball machines, simulated versions of them. Not great physics, but these are games that you're probably never going to see in your life compared to all the simulations of games you will see in your life. So go check out Zaccaria Pinball and play a bunch of games, and their design is nothing like American design. It's like so not influenced by American design. Go play that. It's interesting. It's a little piece of history for you.
I mean, you're not wrong. There's a bunch of digital pinball collections now that you can go buy where they collect a bunch of the pinball games now that are real pinballs rather than just digital ones. And there's a bunch of now just digital tables, like completely digital. They've just embraced it, not trying to copy anything. Anyways, you can go check these out. I like Devil's Crush. That's my pick, especially for the Turbo. I think it's a cool game. And you could talk about it, and you could be like, look at how bad this box art is, but look at how cool the game is. Honestly, the Japanese art is just so much better. And that's not incredible, but like in this one, I might be like, maybe just buy the Japanese one. It's like $50 rather than $350, and you get much better box art.
Your criticism of the American one was like, there's no dragon guy in a helmet, and the Japanese one is like a lady in a helmet.
It's a lady in like a skull helmet, though.
Okay. The same criticism applies. That's not what the game is. It's a pinball game. Also, the US one makes it much more clear it's a pinball game.
That's true. But I kind of like the ambiguity in that one. You're just like, oh, what is this?
That happens in Japanese games a lot. And you're like, wow, this game looks cool. What is this game is like demonic and shit. And you look at it, it's like, oh, it's an RPG. All right.
Yeah. You're like, oh, never mind. You could. That game could the cover of the Japanese art could definitely just be an RPG. 100%.
Exactly.
You're like, what is this game? It's a rice farming sim. What? Oh well.
Johnny, I put some thought into my 10th and final game here until we talk about 3 more games. Because I didn't want to put too many shooters. I didn't want to put in like arcade ports. Because you know what? I want everything to be a little bit important on its own. And I found the most important, historically interesting game on the Turbografx set.
Oh, yeah. You did.
Silent Debuggers, Johnny. A game I think about, I don't know, never, once every 10 years. Silent Debuggers has one claim to fame, and that it was released in 1991. It is a console first-person shooter that came out before Wolfenstein 3D. And every first-person shooter that came out before Wolfenstein 3D is like kind of messed up. This game is closer to Phantom Slayer, the TRS-80 game, than it is to Wolfenstein 3D. You can only move in a grid. Oh, this is the worst part. So you have an aiming reticule, and you're like moving around a spaceship in a grid, and you're like shooting at bugs with lasers. It's a sci-fi FPS. But to move your reticule around the screen, once you get to the grid you want to be on, you have to hold down the number 1 button and then move the D-pad around. Oh, it's so... There's a reason we invented dual analog sticks. Or there's a reason like Wolfenstein 3D is just like, oh, it's more fun if I don't have to aim the cursor around the screen and I just hit whatever's directly in front of me. Yeah, they just... It's not a great look at what... It's a good thing that FPS games became Wolfenstein and Doom and not Silent Debuggers. But it's kind of a case where any game that came before such a landmark game that establishes a genre is interesting. So if you want to spend $150 on a game nobody really likes, you can get Silent Debuggers. Also, Silent Debuggers, a game I remember always being very cheap because no one likes it, and now it is $150.
Yeah. And you know what? It's got some really interesting box art.
It's like a really neon, bright, stylized bug, right?
It's not neon, and I don't
he's
know
like
if it's
a
a bug.
maroon,
Actually,
actually.
I hate this box art so much. Do you know why I hate this? Because I can't tell what I'm looking at because there's whoever did this didn't do a good job of creating depth, so everything like blends together. I'm not sure where the nose or head ends or starts, if that's the body. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at. Maybe that was their point. But yeah, I hate it.
No, I've always felt the exact same way looking at this. Like, I can't really tell what it is, except like I kind of see a bug head. And then
Yeah,
I don't,
I'm
they're like not using enough colors or enough shading or something.
Yeah, there's no depth. It's too flat. The art is all too flat. So you're like, is that the mouth? You're like, no, that's the mouth. Are the eyes running into the mouth? No. Wait, what? Like, the more you look at it, it becomes like 10 different things. And I hate it.
Okay, I'm
your
not
brain
crazy.
Is trying to like want to.
I'm not crazy. At the beginning of 2020, this game was $40 complete in box, and now it's solidly like $150.
Yeah.
You turbo.
Here's a copy for
maybe not
$130.
solidly
A bad copy.
But,
yeah. I mean, over 40. Like, if it doubled in price or tripled in price, that's like, oh man, that went up quite a bit.
I mean, that's like what happened to most like pretty rare or collectible games.
Well, we're working on that index, so we will look further.
All right. That's my last game, Johnny. That's what I got.
All right. I have one last game, and this one is not going to shock anyone. Hey, Tyler, I picked Splatterhouse.
Oh, wow.
Because I think when people are talking about Turbografx, one of the games they look for and expect to see is Splatterhouse. Do you disagree?
No, I mean, that's definitely a game I would expect to see.
So,
because it's so common and cheap.
Yes. So look, it was a whole thing. It was like one of the things people talked about. Oh my God, have you seen Splatterhouse on the Turbografx? Like, and then you're like, oh my God, this coming to the Genesis Part 2 and Part 3. It's, we all know what Splatterhouse is. You are a Jason Voorhees knockoff kind of, but it has nothing to do with the Jason mask. They just like tried to use a hockey mask to invoke Friday the 13th to get people to look at the box, I guess. Even though that's not what the box looks like, it's not what the mask looks like on every system in the US. They made like a red mask, looks less like a hockey mask. Anyways, you put on Curse Mask, you go save your lady love. Tyler hates this game because it's just a side-scrolling, one-button nothing game.
Whoa! Don't talk about Ninja Gaiden like that.
Yeah.
No, you play like this giant hulking sprite. Like there's nowhere for you to maneuver in this game. You just come up against like grotesque, horrifying things, and you smash them with a meat cleaver or like a baseball bat, which is like,
or
I mean,
a 2x4.
Right. I understand the appeal of this game.
They do splat too. Like you hit them and they splat. It's good. Like, and the backgrounds are pretty interesting. Kind of some guy backgrounds they kind of got in there somehow. I don't know. Anyways, it's we know what Splatterhouse is. It's a cool game. It's about $300 to $450. $300
to $450. This game's like what, $60, Johnny? Let's be real.
Yeah, it should be, but it is not. There are lots of fakes, so that's a thing to look out for. This is one of the ones that like you'll get dumb like repro boxes for. Also, we should put this caveat out now. So with a lot of these games, they are either now or have been or will be in the future remade by a company called PC Engine Works, which just like re-releases Turbo games. They're not official releases, no matter how hard they try to say they are. So when you're like, why is this version $50? Look and see if it says PCE Works on it. And a lot of times you can't even tell because they just like make the box exactly the same. Like the only way you can tell is like looking at the DPI on the box, like, oh, or feeling it in your hand. So Be careful for that.
And like a lot of the text isn't scanned, it's reproduced, so you can't look for like low quality grainy text. You have to look for like very slightly out of place text, and they like really tried to make it as exact as possible. So the spots where you can spot it, it's not because they intended it or that it was a scan issue, it was because they fucked up when they were making a bootleg essentially. So man, fuck PCE Works, like one of the worst things in game collecting.
Yep. You know what's funny is they are basically like, they could basically just be like, if they just paid for the licensing, they could just be the limited run of Turbo games. I mean, it's like, it's almost the precursor for limited run games, the way they release stuff. So,
I mean, they do also, they make a lot of bootlegs of like weird Japanese shooters that they would never be able to get licensing for, especially as an American or whatever they are.
Yeah. Anyways, they like do all these like wacky combo packs and stuff. But anyways, they exist out there. Just be aware of them if you are ever buying Turbografx stuff. That's Splatterhouse is my last game. Get some grotesque enemy smashing goodness in you're definitely not Friday the 13th mask.
Yep. And I think that you should definitely go and buy an original arcade machine because only the first prints matter, Johnny.
Or go buy the cute version. Go buy Wampaku
Graffiti on the Famicom. It's really a different game though.
It is. But it is the QT version of Splatterhouse, which is hilarious that it exists. Or be really cool and get the LCD game.
Sure, very cool. Always into LCD games.
Yeah.
On the Collector's Quest podcast. Johnny, is this the first home port of Splatterhouse? Can you at least give me that? Because, all right, we're not going to buy an arcade machine, let alone Splatterhouse. So at least give me something here to chew on.
I believe so. I don't know. I didn't look at that, Tyler. I wasn't one of my conditions for putting it on my shelf. Would you like me to find out?
It was released on the Turbografx 16, FM Towns Marty, and PC. All right, so let's basically say, yes, this is the first and only one that matters port of Splatterhouse to the home.
I want the FM Towns version, though. I like that box.
I mean, go get it.
Cool looking box. It's expensive. Did you?
Oh, an FM Towns Marty game is expensive? I thought you were a collector.
Yeah. I am. I want it for my Halloween collection, but I haven't bought it because I was like, well, I can wait on that one. I kind of got this represented already.
Are there other FM Towns games that you need? Do you need to start collecting FM Towns?
Well, there is a version. Yeah, so a game I'm going to talk about in a minute, Dead of the Brain, is also on the FM Towns, which I would like because I'll get into it, why I want that, but we'll get there in a second.
All right.
Yes is the answer.
Johnny, you
want some FM Towns games. You
got 3 bonus collector picks, and then I don't know why we have 2 bonus sections. I only filled out one of the bonus sections.
Yeah, it was an either or. I just put stuff in. This doesn't even need to be gone over really quick. So if you want to get like some collectory stuff going on, like Super Air Zonk is pretty hard to get. And like Zonk is one of the games I could have put on here, but I decided to keep it just as a collector pick. Super Air Zonk, pretty fun, kind of a cute 'em up kind of shooter. So fun. Go check out the Zonk games. Again, it's basically Bonk, but in the future. So that's Zonk. Vasteel. So this is a collector pick because, hey, everyone loves working designs, right? This game comes with a map and more importantly, comes with a little cardboard sleeve that goes over it or wraps around it, I should say. So look for that if you're going to buy it. The Super Air Zonk is like a $2,000 game. Just be careful if you
Casual
want
$2,000.
Yeah. Vasteel is like $400 to $600 if you want it with the sleeve. But if you don't get it with the sleeve, like you can still get it with the map and everything and the manual. It'll be like $150 to $200. But if you want that sleeve, you are going to pay for it. And that's why I put it in my collector section. And then Sapphire. And why is this in my collector section? Because one, it's a pretty cool game. And you also have it in your PC Engine list. But man, Tyler, this game, I'll let you talk about it. The most difficult thing to find is a real copy because there was a lot of fakes and like a re-release. So it can go from $1,000 to $2,000. And if you are buying this, you got to be careful and know what you're getting.
All right. So Sapphire, or Ginga Fuke Densetsu Sapphire, the full name of the game that no one says, Uh, so this is another 2D space shooter. It's got a anime lady with blue hair on the box. Mainly notable for how good it looks for a PC Engine game. It is just a really, really good looking and sounding 8-bit game. And that people care about that more than the gameplay. People are like, yeah, Sapphire's fine, but man, look and listen to this thing.
Yeah.
And it has the similar thing going on as Lords of Thunder, where it's just like rock and roll, heavy metal, guitars wailing in your ears the entire time you're playing. It's fucking awesome. The other reason that collectors like it is that it is rare. And a problem with it being rare is that people have made very good bootlegs of it, Johnny, as you said. And it's the kind of game where there was a point in my life where I wanted a Sapphire, and I was like trying to figure out how to find a real copy, and I just kind of threw my hands up, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm just never owning Sapphire. And so
I did the exact same thing, Tyler. That I literally went through I'm like, I want Sapphire. I even talked to Red the Game Shark about it. And I'll do the thing real quick. Hey, if you want cheap games and if you want cheap imports, get them from Cheap Games. Contact Red the Game Shark, where all the games are cheap. Anyways, I contacted him about them, and yeah, he was like, oh, I can kind of look, but it's hard to tell. And then I couldn't ascertain myself, and I also got fed up, put my hands up and said, you know what, that's fine, I don't need to own this game now.
Yeah, because like the main thing is like that it's rare and exciting, and then it looks good, and then it's a cool genre and all that. But if you don't know that, like the exact thing you would want is that you want to have a real copy, because it's so hard to find a real copy of this. Yeah, it sucks. There's a couple games like that. And you know what? When grading became a thing, this is the kind of game where I'm like, well, even if you think grading's stupid, even if you hate sealed games and all that, at least we'll be able to get things like Sapphire. We'll finally have an authority who could tell us like, oh, what are the real Sapphires? What are the real Neo Geo games? Because people make bootleg Neo Geo games out of cheaper MVS cartridges and things like that. And I'm like, oh, well, this is perfect for collectors. At least we'll have this. And like the grading companies don't fucking know the PC Engine works. I thought there would be an authority that comes out for this kind of stuff. Like they've graded PC Engine Works games, the grading companies have, which are easier to spot than fake Sapphires. So I just... One of the fake Castlevania games that was graded didn't even have the right type of seal on it. It's just like, oh my God.
It was such an obvious bad punt.
So
yeah.
And we are past the age of PC Engine being like prime cool. Like the peak coolness of PC Engine was more than 10 years ago, probably. So there will never be a commercial authority to validate a copy of Sapphire for you. So what do? I don't know. We've both thrown up our hands and we'll never own this game.
Yep. And it's funny. You and I went through the exact same collector process here, even down to maybe the grading companies, now I can revisit this as an idea, and then just, oh, never mind. Nope, absolutely not.
It's funny because I would want a sealed Rondo of Blood. Like I would out of the sealed games I would like owning, like, sure, like I'm never gonna own a sealed Castlevania on NES, but like Rondo of Blood, not as rare, not as desirable, but still a very cool game. And then like the first one that came up on Heritage Auctions was completely fake, and I was like, all right, well, fuck this. I'm just never fuck that too.
Never mind.
Yep.
Never mind. You can find copies. Rondo isn't so hard to find, but man, Sapphire. Anyways. We might as well just talk about it. Rondo of Blood, next game on my list and yours. Another one we share. So, you know what the worst part about this game is, Tyler? Is trying to figure out what to call it. Do I call it Rondo of Blood? Do I have to call it Akumaja Dracula?
Well, no, it's Akumaja Dracula X Chino Rondo, Johnny. Come on, let's have class here.
Yeah, this is my least favorite part about this game, when you're like, wait, how exactly do I title this? Anyways, really cool game, an exclusive for a long time, and one of the reasons to go buy a Turbo CD so you could play it. And it's Castlevania, so if you want to put something cool and collectible on your shelf and recognizable, this is by far the most recognizable PC Engine game, I would say.
I think everybody who's ever bought like a PC Engine Duo or maybe a Turbografx CD, I don't know how modding those works, but basically you buy a PC Engine Duo, you buy Rondo of Blood, and then you're just like, what other CD games can I get for like $5? Because all I really care about is playing Castlevania, and then you go and you get like Bloodia or whatever, like random puzzle games that you're never really going to play because you really just got the thing to play, Castlevania.
Yep. And that's why you go get Beyond Shadowgate.
And the best Castlevania game is, of course, Castlevania 4. But Rondo of Blood is up there, especially in terms of the traditional 2D Castlevania games. It has an easy mode. I'm sorry, it has a second bonus character called Maria, who throws birds, which is also known as the fucking easy mode, which I guess her ending is different. You don't really get a real ending with her, but I don't know. Using Maria's cheap. Don't use Maria. She's a bitch. That's my review of Castlevania Rondo of Blood.
Maria's a bitch. What are we doing here?
This game is...
You just decide to dip straight into misogyny, just like go for it here? Well, that's cool.
She's like an 8-year-old girl or something. This game also got like a shitload of unlockables, right? And I don't know because I never bothered to unlock all of it. But I remember seeing like a big menu of just like stuff to, like there's like hidden items to find in the levels and things like that. There's just like a lot to sink your teeth into with Rondo of Blood.
I can't think of anything else. You just called Maria a bitch, and I'm still stuck there.
What the?
I'm gonna be here for a minute.
Oh my god.
So rude. You know,
yeah, she's rude because she has like the cheapest attack. Like it's because the whip in that game can't go up through floors, but when Maria throws her birds, I think they do go up through floors, and that's the thing I think that makes her so cheap, is that it's easy to kill enemies when they can't kill you, whereas when you're using the whip, you always have to face them head on.
Rude, so rude. How much is this game, Tyler? About $200?
Sure, about $200.
$200 to $300. Cool game. Go buy it.
And that's up since COVID, but it's not like crazy up. Like this game used to be like 150, 200, and now is it like 250, 300, like in that range? So
yeah, always been desirable. Always been like, you know, I don't know if the price of this game is beating inflation, is what I'll say.
Yeah,
like I think inflation, like this game, the price still makes sense.
And this game has a spine card, right? So you got to make sure to get the spine card.
Yeah. Yes.
So if that costs an extra $50, just spend the extra $50 because this is the one game on all of Turbografx and PC Engine that you actually want complete. I'm sorry, every Turbografx game I just dissed, but I mean, this probably is better than every single Turbografx game, especially to the common like Western audience tastes. I don't know what other game you're going to point to. Don't tell me it's a 2D shooter. People like Castlevania games more than 2D shooters these days. And it's not Beyond Shadowgate. Let's be real.
No. Sadly, no. Okay. My last game, Tyler, on this whole list that I'm going to talk about is Dead of the Brain 1 and 2. Or Dead of the Brain, the Nightmare Collection, which 1 and 2. So, do you know what this is?
Yeah, it's an MSX game, so I don't know why it's on this list.
Yeah, because this is one of the reasons it's on this list is this is actually one of the best ways to play it, especially if you want to play it in English, because there's a patch for this version and you get the benefit of CD sound, and it's a pretty faithful translation. So you get CD quality audio, you get faster loading times, and you get you can get a translation patch and actually play it. So that is a really good reason to buy this version, Tyler.
There's a translation patch for the PC 98 version, though.
Now there is, but
there's two. There's two. There was one in 2019 and a second one in 2023. Yeah. So they made a better PC 98 translation patch.
So you can go find this, but also this is 1 and 2 rather than having to go buy 1 and 2 separately. It essentially, these are visual novels. The the sprite work on this game is really cool. It looks awesome. It is very much like a cheesy horror game. Like if we're getting into it, it's got a lot of horror tropes in it. It's got a lot of nods to things like Stephen King. I've talked about this game before, but it's a cool game. This is, if you're buying a PC Engine game, it is expensive, like $500 to $800. And again, PC Eworks did a copy of this, and it's super hard to tell the difference. And people were trying to fake it before, so be careful. It's got some really cool like scenes where you'll see people's flesh melt. Like, it looks really cool. I mean, if nothing else, go look at a video of this game because it's got some cool moments in it. And if you like horror tropes and stuff, this one really did it right and leaned into it. Didn't try to be anything but a schlocky horror game. They weren't like trying to be artsy about it. They're like, we're going to give the people what they want. And they did it for both of them. And it's nice that you get it in one clean package with good audio.
Johnny, $800. It is a port compilation. It's a budget pack. What do you mean $800?
Well, if you want, like, the individual releases are also like $500 to $600 too.
On the computer versions?
Yeah.
That's still crazy for a port compilation.
It's hard to get out of, like, again, and it's also hard to get it out of Japan. So, like,
it's not hard to get it just ahead to your Zen market order.
No. What I'm saying, like, there aren't that many of them. So, like, you can get it, but this is probably the easiest version to find. So, like, this is one that, again, this is like something limited run should go get into. It's probably like lost licensing, though.
Who made it?
Who did make this game?
Fairy Tail?
Yeah, it is it's one of the Fairy Tail games. You can tell by the sprite work. They always do a good job. Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to look up real quick how much the computer versions are, so I could just go tell you to buy those instead. But I don't know. One of the box arts on the PC for Dead of the Brain looks way cooler. The one with like the girl with the gun and the triangle.
I don't know. This one looks this one, it's the Nightmare Collection. This one looks really cool. Like the art on it is like this kind of 90s techno art. You kind of don't know what you're looking at a little bit. There's like a brain and stuff going on. It's a lot to look at. It's visually interesting, but I like them all. I want copies of 1 and 2 specifically. As standalones. But this is pretty cool.
Mixing this game up with War of the Dead. Every time you talk about Dead of the Brain, I think you're talking about War of the Dead.
I know War of the Dead. I had no
idea these were different
girl
games.
On the cover and like the girl like the jungle khakis on the cover.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The black box and the triangle of art behind her.
I'm listening to you talk about this. I'm like, all right. I mean, I guess it's a visual novel. It must have a lot more cutscenes than I realized.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God, it just hit me that those are 2 different games. And they're like 2 games at the end. Like, I'm sure there's some like nerd pushing up his glasses like, I've obviously played all the games in these series. But like, no one knows what these games even are. So
I do. I know what yeah.
Well, you're a horror nerd who wants to find the most obscure, weird stuff. All right. So I don't know anything about Dead of the Brain and the original PC version, if there is one. And all right, so maybe that is really expensive.
Yes, you can get on the PC 9801.
All right, don't buy that. I might buy it. Maybe. No.
FM Towns, X68000, MSX, like it's all over the place. But as much as it was released on all those things, you don't find that many. So like if you're on Zen Market looking for it, you don't get that many hits, especially not of part 2. It's annoying.
You gotta search for it. That makes it fun. That's the fun part of collecting. The not fun part is spending $500 when you do find Dead of the Brain 2 for the MSX, but the fun part is searching.
Yeah. I mean, I have searches on. It's that thing I'm looking for. All right, Tyler, we did it. We talked about the Turbografx.
I have one more game. Johnny, I only had 3 bonus games. You had 6 bonus games. I want to talk about my last bonus. So, Johnny, as you do, when I got into PC Engine, I bought a bunch of shooters, and I specifically remember getting a shipment of 2, and one was Razamber 2, which is effing impossible. A game, like, if you've beat Razamber 2, you're lying. I just don't believe you save states or something. The game's impossible. But then the other game I got with that shipment is another beloved PC Engine game. It's Nexzr, Nexzr.
Never heard of this.
Cool
Tell me about
name.
it.
I have no idea why this game is so expensive now, but this game is like $300. It's a 2D vertical
For a Japanese
shooter.
game?
Yeah, it's a PC Engine game.
Oh, yeah.
You just talked about this Dead of the Brain collection that's like $900.
I know, but like, I bet normally your stuff is like, this is $40 and that's why you should buy it.
Yeah, no, this is just a game that is so my style. And honestly, the main reason is just how simple this game is as a shooter. So you just got like the shoot ahead weapon and the spread weapon. And then you get secondary weapons that as power ups. And it's like the same button. You just keep holding the button down. Like stuff keeps happening. You don't even think about it. And you don't get bombs. And I never use my bombs. I'm one of these people. You give me an RPG. I'll never use a potion. I'll never use a consumable item, a scroll. I won't use it the entire thing. And I do the same thing with 2D shooters, but that's not how you're supposed to play 2D shooters because they're only like 20 minutes long. Like strategically knowing when to use your bombs is a real important skill to have in 2D shooters, unless you're a super expert who's trying to like prove something, which I'm obviously not. And I just don't use bombs. And I love that this game doesn't have bombs, but it's also just like a super fast, tons of shit on the screen. Great enemy placement. Very beloved game, I guess, because now it's $300. It's just the exact thing I want from a PC Engine shooter. There's a special release. It's the Summer Carnival 93 Nexzr special release. Carnival. Yeah. So yeah, it was. Wait, did we say another one was a Summer Carnival game?
Yeah.
What was the other one? Because it's Rekka was 91, Alzadik was 92, and Nexzr is 93.
Gunhead, wasn't that one of them?
I don't think so.
Or Soldier Blade? Was Soldier Blade one of them? We talked. You said something else was.
I don't know. I don't know enough about. Again, Japanese shooting competitions, not my thing. I have no idea. But so these. The Summer Carnival version of the game, so they took out all the cutscenes and then they added like more scoring based modes. There's like a score attack mode and a time attack mode, but it's way cheaper. I don't know. It maybe you think it's cool. It says Summer Carnival instead of having like box art. It's like a plain white case and it just says like Summer Carnival 93 on it. It looks really special and it's like less than half the price. So maybe if all you care about is raw shooting action and the presentation of the box and the cutscenes aren't important to you, like maybe get that version. But yeah.
Okay.
The game's cool. The game's way fucking cooler than Razamber 2, a game no one can possibly beat. That's my review of Razamber 2.
A game no one can beat. Sounds like my
same
kind
thing
of
with
game,
Tatsujin. I'm okay at video games. Sometimes I just put in a shooter and it's like, who is this made for? Like, I'm willing to restart the game a bunch of times and learn things. And it's just like, I don't get it. Maybe like you have to be like the exact 17-year-old with the patience and the reflexes and the physical ability to still be able to beat games like this.
That ain't me.
You're an old man now. Your reflexes might have declined too much. I don't even know if you'd physically be able to beat Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Johnny.
Tyler, you still haven't beaten Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
It's getting harder every year. I don't.
Maybe we need to sit down when you come over and just beat Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
I can't. I've never even beat Tyson.
You can beat Tyson.
I can't beat him with the code.
What do you mean the code? Like when you port directly to him?
Yeah. I've never even beat that. Oh. I've taken him to like the last round a few times. That's it. I'm just like, I've never gotten good enough at that game. It just feels like my reflexes aren't good enough.
I probably haven't played it in 15 years-ish, maybe. In any kind of real capacity. Do you want to sit down and try to beat it? We'll commit 2 hours to it.
If you'll set up like a CRT, like, sure, yeah, like 2 hours is not enough. I've had sessions longer than 2 hours. I
have my system set up. I can.
All right.
We can do it.
All right. I'll bring Mike got me a book because Mike is a show off and he can beat it. I think he beat it on an LCD screen on the Lost Joystick Network. He did like something crazy. But yeah, he's a show off who can beat it on command. So he got me a book on how to beat it.
We're just going to turn on the Switch and I'm going to beat it on the Switch.
I don't think that's ever been done. So yeah, I'm sure that has been done, but
okay.
It's funny that it's on
really?
there, even like it's probably almost impossible.
It's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. It's going to be great.
I like, you know what? I like shooters and I like rhythm games because you can really learn patterns and then repeat those patterns. And then the Mike Tyson fight's the opposite of that. He tries to trick your muscle memory to make sure that you're not doing that. And I can't get over it. It's such a mind fuck.
Interesting. It's interesting that you've had this much of a problem with it.
That's the PC engine. No Mike Tyson games, as far as I know.
No.
There are boxing games. So.
Yes, and there are some collectory stuff going on with a couple of them. But we don't care about those, and we're not talking about them. Tyler, we're moving on. We're going to talk about what's the best thing we saw on Discord this week, and what we bought, what we played, and the collector's question. That's what's coming next.
It's coming.
This is like where we'd have music, do, like as we transition to the next part of the show. But nah, I always think that's lame. I'm like, I don't need a musical transition. Just start talking.
Gallum popped in to post Loom for the Turbografx CD.
People love Loom. People love Loom. People love Loom. People love Loom.
Oh, you know what? And Thugbard, after I, like, this was like, was this an After Dark or was it was an After Dark? I was ranting about board game expansions and like, you don't need board game expansions, especially when you first buy the game. And he posted his haul from the Elden Ring board game Kickstarter, which has what looks like 2 Steel Battalions worth of expansions with it.
Dude, so much stuff.
It's ridiculous.
And he said it takes like 90 hours.
Excellent. Hopefully you can play that alone.
Man, he's got everything here. He's got the Limegrave Depths, the Avatar Realm of the Grafted King, Flying Dragon, Weeping Peninsula, Spirit, just so much stuff. He said he got the whole thing. It's crazy, Tyler. None of it's in. These are all separate boxes. They couldn't put it in one giant box.
I mean, they're all expansions that they're going to sell separately too. So, and it's like one of these games that has like 1 billion miniatures. So,
oh my god, I'm
really
impressed and horrified all at the same time.
Yeah, I hope he loves it because it's one of these games where like a bunch of people on Board Game Geek who are like real look down your nose and anything that's not a real European style board game are giving it 1s. They just think it's like the worst thing ever. Yeah.
This is like the perfect kind of game to have a board game table for, so you can just put the top on it and be like, we'll come back to this. But I bet the miniatures are too big.
Too big for what?
Like a board game table to put the top back on.
Oh yeah. I don't know what you do with that. So I have I have some games that came with like sprues, and then once you build the miniatures, like you can't close the box anymore. And I never know what to do with that. I just kind of like uglily jam all the figures together in a way that would damage them, but I just don't care that much. But that doesn't feel like the right thing that I should be doing.
No. Ugh, God. Miniature gaming is tough. I sympathize for anyone who's into miniatures games.
But I get miniatures game. I get like playing Warhammer or something, and then you buy like the big fancy foam like briefcase to carry your army around. But when you have a board game that's also a miniatures game, like that just means that board game people who buy it are like, fuck, I got to spend like 20 hours assembling this game before I get to play it. And also, if it's a game with 200 miniatures, like you need the most specific people who are going to sit down and learn the rules to this complex as board game with you.
Maybe there's one of those games you can play by yourself.
It's called Kingdom Death Monster. and it is a lifestyle game. You in?
No.
All right.
No, Tyler. We've already made our stance on board games known.
I got an identical looking Kickstarter package to this Elden Ring haul for Kingdom Death Monster, and then I proceeded to play none of the expansions. And now I don't buy Kickstarters anymore because you know what? I have enough stuff. That's the best thing that we saw this week, Johnny. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes of the Elden Ring board game. And these are big boxes. Each box is bigger than a regular board game.
Yeah. This is the kind of thing I would love to see set up and then be like, man, that is awesome. And then like, you want to play it and be like, oh no, no, that looks like way too much for me. Thank you.
Johnny, what do you, oh, we need a collector's question first.
We do. As far as what this goes, it looks like the all-in collection was only like $450. This looks like more than $450 worth of stuff.
I mean, I think that's how they get you in the Kickstarter, because it's just like, well, it's so much stuff. Because like, obviously this was, there were tiers in the Kickstarter of like, how much stuff do you want? And everyone's either like, just give me the game, please. And then there's like little tiers building up and no one buys those middle tiers. And then there's one tier at the end that's like, more stuff than you could possibly imagine. 800 figures, 10,000 cards. And they're like, well, I want that one. That one definitely has the most fun per dollar, obviously.
Yeah. You sure you don't want to play this? We can probably pick one up on, people spec'd and bought this thinking that they were going to make money on it.
Maybe they will. I don't know. You got to wait for it to be out of print first, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Looks like you spent like $450. People are getting like $700, so $800. Yeah, someone made money.
I bought like 3 or 4 Kickstarter board games. You know what happened with every single Kickstarter board game I bought? There was errata. So I have like the first edition bad version of the game, and I had to like update my rules, or in the case of Kingdom Death, I had to buy an expansion pack to update the rules because they came with like new miniatures and shit. So just wait and get the complete version of the game.
But Tyler, that goes against everything you talk about having the original first print.
I don't care about collecting board games. If I was collecting board games, like what would the number one thing be? Probably like a first print Monopoly. And like those are kind of gettable. I think those are in like the thousands of dollars range, not like the tens of thousands range. So like, yeah, you could go get the best board game. It's probably a first print Monopoly.
You hate games if you think the best game is a Monopoly game.
The most collectible. I'm not saying Action Comics #1 is the best comic ever written, but it's the most collectible comic.
Okay. I'll buy it.
Whatever. Everyone knows that Carcassonne first print was actually you have to get the one without that German sounding award on the box.
Didn't say that at all.
What's the most collectible board game, Johnny?
I don't know.
We're in After Dark. Welcome to After Dark.
Yeah, welcome to After Dark, everyone. Where we'll talk to you about nothing for 3 more hours. Tyler, do you have a collector's question for us?
Lord Hardstyle Z asks, I don't remember if we did this one already. I just got home from MagFest. While I was there doing some hunting for specific GameCube stuff, I saw a number of game vendors and I felt their price was reasonable. I also saw one who was selling manuals at reasonable prices. I later went on Blue Sky to see this same vendor's wares in a picture with the poster calling them a scalper and suggesting the manuals were all repros because the price wasn't where the guy thought it should be. Here's my question. What price points make non-collectors say, this is reasonable or this is too expensive?
I think one, it requires some context. I think conventions, you can expect prices to either be like great deals or about market or a little above because you have the immediacy. Like, I'm here, I can see it. Again, it kind of depends across like what kind of item you're looking at. Like if you have a really beautiful condition Super Nintendo game and it's like it's more than market, but the condition is fantastic and it's 100% complete. It's like, yeah, I'm paying more for that. And especially I'm seeing it and it's in my hands. I wouldn't call that person like a scalper. I think people wander into conventions and they think, oh, I'm going to get deals or whatever. Everyone's quick to throw out the scalper thing too. Like, I don't know what makes someone a scalper, Tyler. Do we even know anymore? Like to me, a scalper is like you bought something that is new to resell it. That's you being a scalper. Like if you bought like Taylor Swift tickets so no one else could go, and then you're like, okay, they were $100 or $1,000 because it's Taylor Swift, and then you want 3,000 because you're the only person with tickets. That's like being a scalper, or like let's say a limited edition game. That's like it. You bought some Nintendo manuals and you got like a good price on them, and then you like resell them at market. That's just reselling. That's not scalping.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that in terms of scalping. As another point, you walked into a vendor hall at a video game convention. Everyone there is reselling things. That is their job. They buy things cheap and sell them for more to make money. You're in the vendor hall. What did you think? It's the like collector to collector deals hall for a guy I've known for 15 years? It's the vendor hall. But as another follow-up to this, are you fucking kidding me for anyone complaining about loose manual prices? And maybe I say this as someone who hasn't bought a game without a manual in probably like 7 years, because I'm just done with hunting for manuals. If you have a game and all you need for it is the manual, like, first of all, you screwed up by buying that game without a manual. But here comes this vendor, and he has what you're looking for, and I have never, ever seen a manual priced at like in a bin of manuals at like where it should be compared to how much value it adds to the game. In most cases, if you sold a game without a manual, you'll probably get at most like 50% of the price for it, because people just don't want to deal with like hunting a manual, dealing with condition, making sure the variant matches up. They don't want to deal with all that. So you're going to lose half the value for the game. So if you even buy a manual at a third the price of a complete in box game, you're turning your game complete. You're adding more than that value to the game. That value is it's just a manual at basically any price. The exact manual you need is priceless. It's so amazing to look through a bin of not just the one manual you need, but a guy who has this bin of 1,000 manuals, and you can page through them looking for multiple things that you need. It's the most convenient service, especially if it's just like a bunch of common NES manuals, like, oh, I need a Rad Racer, I need a Star Tropics, like the stuff you're gonna find, like a lot of those are gonna be like, what, $3? And like the biggest issue on eBay is like, oh, I gotta pay like this $6 thing for shipping and fees. And what are the chances that a vendor has listed multiple low value manuals and I can combine shipping on this sort of thing? It's just like, man, manual guys at conventions are the best. I cannot imagine complaining about manual guys.
Yeah. I mean, you know me. I love this. My favorite thing to do at conventions is to buy manuals for all the reasons you just stated.
On top of the fact that I think a manual priced at half, if a manual is priced at half the value of a complete in box game, that is basically a fair price, because I think that is how much value the manual is adding to the game. Maybe in a rare NES game, that's not going to be the case. But I think if you priced it at a third, that would be like that's more than fair. That's like, all right, it's a major component of the game. You're paying a third of the price of a complete box game. When have we ever seen prices like that? You look at these bins, it's like, how much for these 20 manuals? And they're like, $30. It's always like $2 each, no matter what it is. I want to see this Blue Sky post. Send me this Blue Sky. Show me the manuals that this guy was complaining about. Like, were they Sega CD manuals? Was it Sega Saturn manual? Like, those are even more valuable. You can't even sell a Sega Saturn game if it doesn't have the manual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say they're definitely more than $2 or $3. I think you're working on some old data there, but I think your general point is correct.
All right, yeah. All right, I don't buy a lot of manuals as much as I buy inserts, and they never charge me enough for inserts. It's crazy.
Don't stop telling people. We're about to go to a convention.
I see like an uncommon NES poster, and it's like $10, and I'm like, oh, $10 for a poster? Or like, if I needed that poster, I would pay anything for it. But yeah, no one charges enough for inserts. Oh my god, how many Nintendo Nintendo Power and like WoW inserts and registration cards and warranty cards have I got for under $1 because they'll bundle it and they'll charge me less than $1 each. Oh my god.
Tyler,
Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing at Midwest Gaming Classic.
I mean, you know, that's what I'm doing too. So that's like all I'm doing. But now you can't. You're going to have to cut all this from the episode. I can't have the competition.
All right, Final Fight CD's question's too long, so I'm going to save it for next week.
Okay.
Johnny, what are you buying? What are you playing?
What am I buying and what am I playing? Hey, Tyler, it was Mario Day not so long ago.
I'm so happy we didn't do a Mario episode.
Oh, man, I wanted to just do a Mario episode. We would have just done the 20 most collectible Mario games. Just kidding. We're not doing that. We could have. They had a sale. It was 20% off some Mario games. I didn't grab all the Switch Mario games. I didn't get Mario Donkey Kong. I hadn't got Luigi's Mansion 2 for the Switch. So I was like, oh, yeah, I went and grabbed those. And I got the Peach game, which I didn't have. So I got like 3 or 4 Mario games. And I bought Gravity Falls, more interesting, on the 3DS. Did you ever watch any Gravity Falls? Probably not in your bag.
No, I think that's past my time.
Gravity Falls, no, this is like a newer cartoon.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's like...
Oh, yeah.
It's too new for me.
Too old. Yeah, so if you have kids, Gravity Falls is a great show to watch. Imagine Twin Peaks and the X-Files, but as a cartoon for children, some sort of conglomerate of that, and summer camp, kind of.
And I think the art style influenced like every single cartoon that came after it.
I don't know if that's true or not. I just know it's on Disney Plus. You can watch it. It was on sale on Apple. You can get the whole series for like $15. But yeah, it's a wonderful cartoon. If you have got kids, go watch this. And I wanted the game, so I went and I picked up the game on the 3DS. Exclusive.
Wait, you bought this because you just wanted it? I thought there was going to be a bigger story here. You wanted a game just because you wanted the game?
Yeah, because I like Gravity Falls. I was like, I should grab the game. I like the show a lot. Like I probably enjoy playing this a little bit.
So it's a 3DS exclusive?
Yes.
I'm in. All right, cool.
Yeah. Get a little pricey too. So that's why I was like, ooh, 3DS game's getting a little expensive. Better grab this one. It's like $70 to $100.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's damn kids. This is like one of the worst box arts I've ever seen.
It's not good. Especially there's a version that's because there's one with just US text or US English text, and then there's one with French text on it too. So like those white squares get even bigger and uglier. You're just like, come on, man, gross.
Is this a problem with like a lot of 3DS games? They just got a big white disclaimer box at the bottom.
Yep.
That's
so
awful.
When it's got English and French text on it, that box gets bigger.
It's not just the disclaimer box. It's also that the logo gets crammed into the top left because it feels like they made too much art.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, I hope
interesting game though. Check it out. Go watch a video of the gameplay.
I definitely won't. I was like, sometimes I'll lie to you and say that I will. This is one I definitely won't.
Yeah, I know. I don't ever. When I say that, I don't ever expect you to do anything I ask.
You playing anything?
Am I playing anything? Actually, Tyler,
Whoa.
No. No. Played no games. I have not had time. It's not because I'm like overworked or anything, but I'm like working on my little card game that I'm working on, and then new Star Wars card game set came out, so I was playing that a lot. So yeah, I've just been using my gaming time to both craft my game and then play this other game. What about you? What are you buying? What are you playing?
I bought nothing this week, Johnny. So I'm the opposite of you. I've been playing Astrox Imperium, which is the closest thing you'll get to EVE offline. There's a lot of single player space sims out there. This one is specifically trying to emulate some of the mechanics of EVE Online, which I think some people would find boring. But it's
I hated that game.
Yeah.
That game was so boring.
So if you want like action-packed, grab your throttle space battles, this is not the game for you, because some of EVE Online's most distinctive mechanics are when you buy a skill or when you level up a skill, you have to wait real life hours for that skill to level up.
It was so dumb.
And that is such like an online MMO, like mobile game mechanic. And this is a single player game that's like, yeah, all right, you're just going to wait 16 hours to level that up now. Like real time, dude, let's go. And
have fun.
I love it. It's so good. And let me get on my what's going on with people talking about indie games. This isn't a real segment. So this game has been in development for like 5-ish years. And so I got back into it because I saw that it is leaving early access and the developer plans to basically no longer support it, but he's not going to be making new stuff for it. He's basically like, hey, this game's basically done now. And that's going to be it. This $25 indie game. And people are mad at him. This guy's been working on this fucking game. It's like there's no game exactly like this. Everyone playing this has played all the other space sims. They played their Star Citizens and their X and all this other stuff. And they're like, yeah, this is my game. I have 800 hours in this stupid game because I want to be the guy who's waiting 16 hours to level up a skill. It's the exact kind of sandbox thing I want. And they're mad at him because he's made by one guy and he's not going to support the game in perpetuity after he's been doing updates for 5 years. It is crazy. How could anyone become an indie game developer? This is how your fans treat you? Hey guys, I'm coming out of early access. The game is finally going to be done. And everyone's mad at him.
Just, what is wrong with people?
Never follow your dreams. Obviously not everyone's mad at him, but it's insane to see people who are mad that a game is going to be done and finished and just out.
Leave this man alone.
I can't imagine working on a game for 5 years. That's just so much. How many reviews does it have? What's the review is like 33 times the amount of reviews is the amount of sales. Oh, this game's got some decent sales. I didn't realize. So
good for this guy.
Yeah, 1,100 reviews, which would mean like 33,000 sales, 36,000 sales. Let's say that they all got it half off on sale, like I certainly probably did. That would be $450,000. So, like, you know, after fees and stuff, it's enough for this guy to live on for 5 years. And maybe sales are tapering off, and it's time to just release the game and move on to his next project.
That's not even a great salary, though, over a 5-year span.
I mean, I bet 90% of indie developers would probably kill to have a one-person dev team that can actually like sustain an apartment and food.
Yeah, I mean, but what kind of life is that? So, what are we talking about? How much do we think it is after fees? Do you think they're taking 20%, 30% off the top?
Oh, easily 30%, and then taxes after that.
Okay, so this guy, if it's 400,000, he got 50% of that. Then maybe 60 if he's lucky.
Yeah, let's call it 60%. So that's 272,000 over 5 years. That's $55,000 a year is what he's taking home after taxes and Steam fees.
Cool. Does this man have a family to feed?
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, not like a glamorous lifestyle here, but for an indie developer, people who are like, you look at Steam, it's like, wow, look at all these fucking indie games that have 7 reviews. Like, this guy made it in terms of being an indie developer, let alone a solo indie dev. Like, this isn't Undertale here, but like, he can afford rent. How many indie developers can afford rent just by making games?
What are we saying his rent is? Because if he's in Los Angeles,
well, he better not be in Los Angeles. I'm hoping that he lives in Nebraska.
Okay, because if it's like $1,800 a month for rent, that's 21,000 of his 57,000. So it's not a great ratio. And then you put bills on top of that. Let's say what is that? Car and all the other stuff. Maybe that's putting him at $3,000 for cost of living alone. So what? Times 12. 36,000 minus his 50. So he's got like $21,000 to do anything with.
No, I've got great news for you. His only hobby is sitting at his computer desk and probably programming updates for his space simulator.
That's probably true. Yeah.
He just does that 16 hours a day.
Yeah. And that's if this guy lives alone. But if he's got a family, like this is just if he's just some single guy. Imagine he wants to take a girl out or do anything, or a guy out, or for whatever his proclivities are. Wants to go on dates, wants to meet people. Like, come on.
God,
or if he's just got a family.
Now you're a programmer. Come on, man. What are you talking about? Oh, this game's been out longer than I realized. Going back to his blog, it looks like it might have been in development for like 7 years.
So this is over 7 years, Tyler? This number's getting worse all the time.
Starting to think he might have a Starbucks side gig going on now.
Yeah. Woof.
Anyway, this is why you should go by #blood from Super Rare Games, because being an indie game developer, let alone a successful one, is super duper hard.
It sure would be hard sure would be easier if your friends supported you.
I'm gonna go guilt buy a copy right now. And then I'm gonna buy the PC version on a Steam sale, and I'm gonna play that instead.
Okay, good. Perfect. All right. I think that's it, Tyler. That's what we did for the show. Anything else? You didn't buy anything? Not even something off hobby? Nothing interesting at all?
I bought the Traveler 5 3-book set for the RPG Traveler 5.
You print any more books that are already books?
Yes. Let me go find something. Nothing that's within arm reach. Sorry.
Okay. No problem. I bought some records. I was filling in the record collection a little bit. I'm so close, Tyler. I'm so happy with my little record collection. It's like
spooky stuff.
Yeah. All my little horror soundtracks. Pretty good collection.
What's the recent stuff you got? Before we go, tell us one cool record you got. And then I thought this was going to be a 2-hour podcast. I was just like, oh, an easy PC Engine episode. It never happens.
No, it's always 3 hours. I stopped wanting that. I got... did you ever watch Bates Motel?
I did not.
So there was a cool version of the Bates Motel soundtrack they did, where it's like a white marble looking record, and then the center label is the shower drain, like bloody shower drain. So it's got like white marble with like blood streaks in it going down to the shower drain. Looks really cool. I got Silence of the Lambs, which is kind of a hard one to get. Let me look at my eBay. I got like a good one from eBay.
No, I told you to do one. You already gave me two. We can go ahead and end the show, Johnny.
No, I'm going to tell you about 7. How about 7? Oh, I got Blair Witch. You like Blair Witch?
The fuck is the Blair Witch soundtrack? What is it? Kids screaming in the woods?
A little bit.
Wait,
I'll play it for you when you come over.
Blair Witch, literally the Blair Witch Project soundtrack?
Yeah.
The Blair Witch Project doesn't have a soundtrack. The Blair Witch Project has a soundtrack? I haven't seen this movie since like 1997 or whatever. 2000. When did Blair Witch Project come out?
Yeah. I'm going to do a little video. I do my dumb little videos for them, and I haven't done the video yet, so I haven't opened it. So after I do my little opening, then I play it. That's my process. So anyways, that's it for the show. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. And if you want to be able to ask questions and be featured at all, like best thing that we saw on Discord, you can do that by going to Patreon. It's patreon.com/collectorsquest. You can join us for $5. That gets you the bonus content and, more importantly, get you onto the Discord where you can hang out, ask questions, and be with all of the best people and, start planning your Milwaukee trip with us. Anyways, we're going to be there. That's the most important thing. So we hope to see you there. If you are going, please come find us. We are just hanging out, very approachable. Most of us are. Anyways, Tyler's pretty approachable. Right, Tyler? You would call yourself approachable?
I would call myself pretty approachable. I've had people recognize my voice at game conventions, which is super weird. But yeah.
That is weird. Yeah.
Come chat to me about computer games or ask me to play pinball, or we could just go hunt for games together. But if you take the stuff that I'm looking for, I'm going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad.
Mike is not going to be mad. Anyways, come find us if you're going to be there. Even if you're not on the Patreon, come say hi. We're going to be walking around. We always have a good time. So we look forward to seeing you all there. And thanks so much for supporting us in any way in which you do it. If that's just listening, that's cool. And if you're on our Patreon, double thanks to you. Bye.